There we are. We're live.
We are live.
We are live. I say we just have a little bit of a chat, you and me. Flippin' heck. Oh.
Yeah.
Flippin' heck. I can hear myself twice. Because
Oh,
I have
that's
your
not
stream
good.
open
Oh,
somewhere.
that's not good.
I have your stream
Oh.
open somewhere.
Oh. gotta mute that.
Mute it. There you go. Good start. Good start. That makes me remember that I need to open your chat. Where's your chat?
Yeah.
How to open your chat?
I can see. My eyes are working.
Let's go. Hi everyone. Hiya Sam. Hiya Lila. And how you K-Pup? What does HWY mean? Or hey? Probably hey, mistype hey. I just assume always that I don't know.
Yeah.
That I don't know like type stuff. I'm too boomer for this. I'm not down with the kids. How's everyone doing?
Katie's a boomer.
I'm a boomer. You heard it here first. Hi everyone, welcome. Make sure you guys pop on over to Hawke's stream as well. In fact, I'm just gonna make sure that I have the link present. Control C and Control V. There we go. Make sure you go and hop on over to Hawke, who is also here. Make sure you say hi, my friend.
I am also live.
Yes, Hawke is also live.
I am also live for this.
We're doing this on both goes. On both streamages. Let me know if all the audio is good on my side, and let Hawke know if all the audio is good on their side.
Yeah.
We're just here for a chill time. Yeah. We're having a chat.
We're gonna have some fun today.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn you up on my side in general, I think. And I'm gonna turn the music down.
I hope you're loud enough on mine.
I just gotta make...
I think you are.
Oh, actually, you know what? It doesn't help if I only have one of my headphones in. That actually does make a difference.
That might be too loud.
So let us know if there's anything happening. We're kind of cold turkeying this.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
We literally just pressed. We literally just pressed start streaming.
Yeah.
We didn't do a starting soon screen or anything.
Nah, this is fine.
Right in.
This is fine. This is how we do stuff.
We're professionals.
Yeah, we know exactly how stuff's going.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, everyone.
This is my return to streaming after like 2 weeks or like a week and a half of not streaming, so this is great.
Wonderful. I still haven't figured out how to open up your chat. I might just not try that. I don't quite understand.
That's okay. My optic migraine seems to be over, so
okay.
I can read my chat when people show up.
I think I'll close that tab. I've got like 50 tabs open, guys. I'm not used to this. It's a little much right now.
We have a lot of things happening.
all the things. Right, how are we doing,
Hi,
everyone?
Zim.
Zim's in
Hi,
Hawke's
Zim.
chat.
Zim says
make
hello.
sure you go say hi to Hawke and Hawke's chat. Because we got to give them all support. This is their story. I will preface this saying, this is 90% about what Hawke has done with his story and everything. So go make sure you send them all the support.
This came from my brain.
Yes. This is Hawke's thing. And I just did a little addition to it where I was like, hey, look, this is going to be a time skip. And I'm like, heck no, do we want a time skip?
Yeah, this is like, we don't know what happens to the other guys because all we're focusing on is,
I'm like, no.
is Jimmy's.
Yeah.
You're going to be honest and say you haven't finished either of the fics. So you're going to read and listen with some multitasking. That's fine. We're here for a good time. You're going to get spoilers, but that's okay.
If Shreya's here in my chat going, if vegetables were to become sentient and take over the world, which one would be the leader and why?
Oh, sorry, I missed that. I was reading a message.
If vegetables were to become sentient and take over the world, which one would be the leader and why? Vegetables. I say broccoli. Oh my gosh!
Sorry, that was loud. Nini, that's totally okay. You don't have to write in chat until you get home. But yeah, Katie and I share one brain cell, guys.
We share one with Sam as well, because Sam also said broccoli.
Love that. Welcome to the club, Sam.
That's like, because I have a reason though, because they would have the most fabulous hair. Because for some reason I think the broccoli is hair. And then like the fuzzy stuff. And they're also
broccoli
like...
just seems big brain to me. Broccoli just seems big brain.
And what Shreya takes from that answer is you're a fan of revenge stories.
Maybe.
Which, actually we are, Hawke. Maybe.
A little bit.
Hawke.
A little bit.
Come on. Mate.
Maybe.
I
actually have another reason. My Tad really likes broccoli, and he is very smart. So he would be big brain, and that's why I think broccoli is big brain.
Cool. I like broccoli.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Sam says if Sam, me, and you share a brain cell, then technically YEAMF came from Sam's brain too. But you know why not? Shreya says mushrooms. Fine. Now, Shreya, mushrooms aren't technically a vegetable.
No.
Says, coming from a biologist, they aren't plants. They are something completely different. We are closer related to a mushroom than we are to broccoli. I think. Is that how that works? I am so exhausted.
I don't know.
I'm so tired. I don't even know basic biology anymore. Time to take a sip of caffeine.
Oh, I'll do that too. We both. Do you still have espresso in yours? Because I have espresso in mine.
I finished my coffee and I've moved on to a Coke Zero. So.
Oh, nice.
I've had a normal coffee, I had an iced coffee, and I had a double espresso, and that wasn't enough. I'm moving on to Coke. Coca-Cola.
Katie, please confirm fungi are not vegetables.
Fungi are not vegetables.
Okay, Zim, you were correct.
They're considered vegetables in nutrition standards. That's true. Just like how tomatoes are considered vegetables only because we use them in cooking.
Yeah.
But nutritionally, aren't they a protein? Am I misremembering?
Katie, do you want to know something cool about fungi?
They're fun.
There's fungi that connects trees.
I know.
Did you know that?
They can communicate via fungi, so that if there's like a pathogen that infects one of them, all the other trees get information.
Did I tell you how I learned that?
No, because I know that. I don't know that from you. I know that from a lecture.
Yeah, I know. I learned that because I incorporated something to do with fungi in my book. And my Tad was like, you should do this thing with it because it's so cool. So I looked it up.
Fungi are awesome. I feel like with mushrooms, you can solve all world problems. You could solve world hunger with mushrooms because they can also act as like enhancing plants' efficiency in like growing and their produce. With like symbiosis with mushrooms, either with mushrooms or a specific type of cyanobacteria. This is not what we're here for.
No.
I could go on a rant about plants.
Doggos are amazing.
Doggos are amazing.
Doggos are amazing. My doggo has abandoned me, but she usually does that while I'm streaming.
Doggos are amazing.
As my chat knows.
Oh, bless. I just realized my crunching is audible on stream. I'm so sorry. I've got some granola I'm munching on. I'm so sorry. I don't hear yours on Discord.
I haven't started munching yet, but I will in a minute.
I'm being so careful now to hide it behind my... Because I have this bowl of granola in front of me. And, okay, yeah. Let's just put that away and take the caffeine in front of my face.
Guys, you can see the author's commentary screen. Can we just appreciate how Shadow is smiling?
And Jasper is not.
It makes me so happy.
I love how you also don't have any teeth.
Thing. Yeah, she doesn't have any teeth.
Well, you don't either on the author's commentaries. That's kind
of
like...
I don't.
Well,
it's because it's a chibi drawing.
I drew that over a year ago.
Yeah, it was for Christmas.
Yes.
It was for Christmas the first year we met, which was over a year ago.
Because Christmas this year, you got Your Light in My Eyes.
Yeah.
Teeth are overrated.
That was my Christmas gift.
Yes.
Hi, Shreya. Welcome to the chat.
Yay, people are coming.
There, Shreya is in Hawke's chat now. Yes.
Shreya is in Hawke's chat. Shreya can ask icebreaker questions in Hawke's chat.
Shreya's leaving you, Katie.
How dare they? How the Shreya is spreading. Yes, there we go. This is going to be really interesting because we've got Hawke's chat that we're openly acknowledging, in my chat that we're openly acknowledging. So this is fine. It's all good.
Shreya's a cool kid. Shreya's joined the cool kid club.
Which is totally valid. I think everyone should join the cool kid club and go and follow Hawkwing. Hawkwing03 on Twitch.
I write one-shots on stream twice a week.
Can one click on your name in my stream title? That is...
Oh, I don't have my follow thing set up here.
Guys, you can click on Hawke's name in the stream title and go over there because that way. In fact, you can just if you're on desktop, you can just hover over it and press that follow button. So make sure.
I didn't add the follow thing on this thing. Oh no!
Professional streamer. You can copy it from a different scene. That works, I think.
Wait. Okay, no, I'll just do this. Okay. Shreya, thank you for following.
we professional here. We are so professional.
We're professional. I gotta be honest. This is the morning for me, and yeah, no, I fixed it, Zim. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I've had a couple of days behind me. This is why the caffeine is necessary. So
I've never had espresso before in my entire life.
But you have today.
And today I was like, I need espresso.
Be careful, it is a slippery slope to caffeine addiction.
I'm fine.
Speak from experience.
In my defense, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, so
I think caffeine addiction is valid there. If that works.
Zim stopped watching the first F1 race for this stream. This is the best morning. Well, this welcome to the chaos. It's already chaotic. This is great.
We love it. I mean, I will also say, even if we are tired, like the best conversations between the two of us emerge when we're tired.
You know, great transition, Katie.
Yeah, right? Because, you want to know why this is a great transition? There's this little thing that has, for the past half a year been happening. Don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Your Embers at My Fingertips. A little story written by my good friend here, Hawkwing. So,
Yeah. I write things, guys.
You write things, yes.
I write
things. If you enjoy reading things, then definitely go over. So yeah, what is this stream all about, my dude? Can you try and explain to our lovely viewers what we're doing?
Well, let me just hold on.
Let's get the notes out.
Yeah. Oh, it logged me out of everything. That's
no. Otherwise, I can help. You good?
No, I got it.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, I think the first thing that I want to do is just quickly read the summary that I wrote for Your Embers at My Fingertips, which is pretty short, and I wrote it like 9 months ago, so it's,
Before we do that, let's just do like the intro. Your Embers at My Fingertips is a story that Hawke wrote, which is an Avatar: The Last Airbender life series AU. And if, Avatar: The Last Airbender, bending all the 4 elements and all that, but with our wonderful traffic SMPs.
Yeah.
Yours specifically
the beginning of it takes place at the beginning of Double Life. It starts with them waking up in Double Life. It's from Jimmy's perspective, so it's a rancher's fan fiction.
We love our ranchers here.
Because we love our ranchers.
And you can
Katie and I might be a little bit obsessed.
a little bit. Well, you can read it over on AO3 now under the name Your Embers at My Fingertips by Hawkwing03. Go over there. If you haven't read it yet, this stream is going to be full of spoilers. Yes. So just so that you're warned.
It is 20 chapters and an epilogue, and it's all posted. So you can go over there right now and binge it if you feel like it.
Do all the binging and then come back to watch the VOD. I will upload the VOD on Katie Robots.
You know what's even better about reading it now is there are also, I think, 11 one-shots for the story from various points before, during, after. That are also there in the series, Your Embers at My Fingertips, that I wrote on stream, and the VODs for that are on my YouTube channel. So you got plenty of content. Just let me do some self-promotion there.
Yeah, do that. That's totally fine. Right, I'm just going to post the link in my Discord. In my Twitch chat.
I think it literally just posted in my chat, so that's good. So if you want the link, it's also
and I'm going to pin the message as well. For goodness sake, customers time.
Zim. I know. Tilly misses Pearl's. Tilly misses Pearl.
Oh, bless. Right,
Zim just got to Pearl's backstory.
Oh, bless. Sweet. So I've pinned the link to the AO3 post, AO3 story. So definitely go and read that if you don't want any spoilers. Come back for the VOD. And you said you're putting the VOD on YouTube as well. Sorry, I kind of blanked out because I was looking for Your Embers, my fingertips there.
Yeah, I also tomorrow, this VOD will be going up on my YouTube channel, which is the same username as my Twitch, and also you can find all of my other VODs on YouTube as well.
There we go. There we got it.
I talk about this story a lot.
You'll hear a lot about this story. If you're interested, that's the good place. That's the perfect place to go, my dudes.
Yep. Lots of content.
Lots of content. Let's go. So yeah, that's kind of like the introduction. That's what this is. You want to read the summary of Your Embers at My Fingertips?
Yes. I will read the summary. Okay. Ever since Jimmy was a child, he has felt the call for something great. Maybe not in the realm of bending, considering he's never once been able to bend an element. Not through lack of trying, mind you. Now, pushed into a prison with 13 others, Jimmy must discover the truth and fight to survive alongside his soulmate Tango. Will Tango be able to awaken something in Jimmy?
Yeah. I will say it's not a shipping fic.
No. I write them very platonically gay, but it is not romantic.
There you go. just as like having said that immediately.
Yeah.
Bye, Sam. I hope you sleep well, my dude. Thanks for popping by. Early bedtime, I know. So yeah. And then what we also... That's the question. Do we now go immediately on to the summary of Your Light in My Eyes? Or do we do
do we want to do the teaser next?
We could do the teaser next.
Also, yes, platonic soulmates, Zim. Platonic soulmates for the win.
Exactly. We love them.
Because the teaser is a nice transition into Your Light. So, do you want to read that, or should I read that?
I'm always just also realizing that there is a little bit of a spoiler in this teaser. Talking about the avatar.
Oh yeah,
okay,
there is.
Basically, guys, if you haven't read the story yet and you want to avoid spoilers, this is your final warning. Go and read the story, because we are going to start spoiling stuff from now on. Yeah. You've heard the summary of...
From this point forward.
Yeah. All the spoilers. So, and like, we have Your Embers at My Fingertips, and then I kind of decided, look, there's this little story jump, there's this little time skip in Your Embers at My Fingertips, and you didn't have time or energy to write it, and I was like, I am going to do it. little gremlin voice. And that's how Your Light in My Eyes emerged. And this was the teaser that we released on New Year's Day. Kind of announcing Your Light in My Eyes. Who wants to read it? You reading it? Am I reading it? We are prepared, guys. We are so prepared.
Yeah, so prepared. I can read it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll read it. It's bedtime. Are you ready for your story? Pixel Riff chuckles. All right. Snuggle up, grab your teddy. Okay. Big smiles. Tonight is the story of the protective avatar and the fierce firebender. The avatar and the firebender are best friends, their souls closer than anyone else's can be. When they met, they didn't realize just how important they would be to each other. Actually, the first time they even interacted, the firebender killed the avatar with a game. But don't worry, the avatar came back. One day, the avatar and the firebender found themselves linked, their souls physically intertwined. They stood in the circle of beginnings and decided then and there that they would protect each other to the end. They built together, they bent together, they learned together, they laughed, they screamed, and they fought together, until one day the friends were torn apart. To find their way back to each other, they had to fight and bend and search, desperately attempting to reach the other and find a way back to Sanctuary. They fought against enemies and friends alike, wading through blood and fear to reach each other. It was hard, but eventually they broke free of the chains tearing them apart. As the avatar and the firebender threw themselves to safety, the avatar vowed, "I will search for your embers at my fingertips." And the firebender smiled and answered, "And I will find your light in my eyes." The end.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. So that was the teaser for... I guess it's not really even a teaser.
I mean, it's got the title.
Touche, Your Light in My Eyes.
Because that was the point, is we wanted it to end with the two titles.
Hi there.
Which was interesting to make sense, I gotta be honest.
Thanks for following, my dude. Thanks for following. Yeah, that was I like that. I think the titles are cool. I like the titles.
Yeah, the titles are definitely cool. It's just the way they're formatted was like trying to fit it into a conversation was one of those things where you have to flex your creative muscles a little bit, which is always fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing that.
That is, I think it's definitely like, it's not something that would really come up in conversation very much, but you know, it's one of those things where like, sure, that's fine, because it's like part of the teaser. Like, they said the thing, no way. But yeah, and then we have and then I had the Your Light in My Eyes. I don't think I'm going to read the summary to that yet. I think we might do that halfway through. When we kind of do a summary of both stories, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
One thing that I think is kind of important to mention,
before we go on,
finishing Your Embers at My Fingertips, you started a little project, my friend.
I did. I've been working on something big, which you might have heard about if you come to my streams. I'll just say I'm working on a trilogy. I'm working on a trilogy, and I'm so in love with it. It's my favorite thing. I talk about it constantly. It's all I talk about. Katie knows this. It's all I talk about.
Yep.
Unfortunately, so I did love this storyline and like this idea so much that I wanted to turn it into my own thing. So like technically, like some of the characters, some of the situation is like loosely inspired by this.
By Your Embers at My Fingertips.
It's not the same thing. It's not. It's an entirely different story. Problem is, because I've got the two worlds in my head and they do have similarities, sometimes they cross over.
Yeah.
So if you hear me use different terminology or different names or wrong situations.
I'll shout to Hawke whenever this happens, but this'll just happen.
Katie's just gonna tell me to shut up, and we're gonna move on.
It'll just be a case of like you say.
What, you write a trilogy?
Something.
I had no idea. Yeah. Nini's like, what? What do you mean?
No way.
Well, so, Nini's on my Patreon, so Nini knows about this trilogy.
Nice. So basically, if you read and enjoyed Your Embers at My Fingertips, then you are going to love this story even more. I'd reckon.
Oh yeah, this is the book, like the trilogy, is so much better than I did with Your Embers at My Fingertips. So if you liked this, I highly recommend that you check out my Patreon, which is linked in my link tree. Because that's where you get like updates and sneak peeks and information. Like I've been uploading one-shots every week for one character from that book that doesn't involve spoilers for the story itself. It's just kind of like introducing them. So if you want more information about that, I definitely recommend you check out my Patreon, and I will actually go ahead and just, I think that's it. Yeah, I just put my Patreon link in my Twitch chat, so
pop on over
people
to
that are there. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, Nini can vouch it is great, as they said. So I also do little writing blogs once a week where I give some advice from what I've learned with my writing. So if you're interested in that, you can get that information too.
Nice. Well, there you go. Yeah. So that's kind of like the disclaimer. If there's other terminology going on here, it's something that's been really funny and interesting as we've been planning this, because Hawke's been like, this no, not that character, this character, or
yeah.
And I'm like, Hawke. It's been really, especially also when you've been streaming, right? When you've been writing.
Oh my god, I've gotten better at it.
Oh, you love to see it. Well, not really, but still, it's very funny. I find it very amusing.
It's fine. When Katie's in my chat and I do it, she's just like, Hawke, please.
No, shush. So we mentioned that. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy that we can finally talk about this, right? All our background thoughts and everything. And also, hey, yeah, your project has been announced.
Yeah. There's also a super special thing happening at the end of this stream that you'll want to stick around for, because it'll be really cool and connected to my project. So you'll want to stick around for that. It's going to be great.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Multi, thank you much for the resub. 11 months. You're one.
Also, my Nightbot is lying, and it says Your Embers at My Fingertips is being updated every Saturday. That is a lie, and I've actually changed that twice, so I don't know why it's still doing that.
11 months, yes. Your lovely Nightbot not working, for goodness sake.
I know.
I think I don't have Nightbot. Do I have Nightbot still? I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen Nightbot for a while. I think my Nightbot's broken. I don't know.
The Nightbot doesn't work.
You love to see it. But shall we, in case people don't know about this story and they still want to stick around for the spoilers, should we do a little introduction to the characters? Like who they are, who are in our story.
Do we want to talk about how this project even happened?
Oh, we could do. Did I miss that part? We have a document, guys, that we're following. I can't read. I miss things.
It's fine.
How did this start?
So what happened was it must have been July. This past July, Katie and I were doing a watch party for, I believe it was Jimmy's
Double Life.
Double Life series, and we were watching that, and afterwards, like it was a couple days after or something, I was like, I really want to write the Ranchers, but I don't have like a good prompt. And Katie was like, you could do an Avatar The Last Airbender AU, and I was like, yes.
The rest is history.
That became my life for 3 months.
Just like from that. I love that.
Yeah. It did. I completely finished this project before Secret Life was even announced.
I'm doing it right, Felix.
So it doesn't exist in this universe.
Yes, no Secret Life here.
I didn't know it existed.
Yes. It's fun. It's funny because right at the start you hadn't really planned to have limited life in there, did you?
No, I didn't. I expected. I wasn't planning on. Like, I knew they were gonna get captured, but I didn't expect limited life to like be a thing. And then you had the idea of incorporating it when they got captured. But I didn't want to write a whole section for that, so you were like, "Well,
this was also yeah. We were on a call, and I was like, I'd been ill for a week. I don't know if I had the C word. It was just a really, really bad time for me, and it was like my sleep schedule was a mess as well. And we were just in a call, and I was exhausted and tired, and you were also pretty tired. And
I was tired too.
We were just there going like, hey, how about we plan out this entire story in our sleep-deprived state?
Yeah.
So
we did just plan the whole thing out.
We just planned the whole thing out. We sat in a call and like with a shared Google Doc open, and we just planned out the entirety of Your Light in My Eyes. Yeah. And it was just a case of like, how can we further torture these characters?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
The basis of all that we do.
Yes. And I don't even regret to admit that.
No.
It's not something I feel like I need to hide.
Nah.
Fictional characters, everyone. Not real people. But yes.
No. So Zim just met Skiz's uncle.
Skiz's uncle. Oh yeah, by the way,
is he
guys,
based on TFC? Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know who he's based on.
Oh.
I wonder who he's based on.
I haven't thought of that. And
that's interesting though, yeah.
I like that. If you guys have any questions on any of the storylines, anything, then do ask them. We're happy to answer them. We're happy to go on into different things. Do you want to talk about Skiz's uncle?
I can talk about Skiz's uncle. Okay, I have a story for this, so strap in, everybody. By the way, I'm tired, so I'm kind of chaotic. It's fine.
That's fine. I'm high on caffeine. It's about the same effect.
So, when I was young, I was so into Avatar The Last Airbender. Like, I watched it over and over again. It was so great. And my favorite character was Uncle Iroh. I will say, I watched this when I was like 5 years old or something. So, I thought his name was Uncle. So, I will be calling him Uncle. And he was my favorite character because he was just like, he loved Zuko so much he would do anything for him. Never hated him for just, how many tantrums he threw. He just cared for Zuko so much. So when it came to writing a character where we decided that, well, when it came to an Avatar The Last Airbender AU, I had to put him in there somewhere, right? But I didn't want it to be like a core section. So I decided, since Skiz had a connection with spirits, and so did Uncle, why not have Uncle be Skiz's uncle? And thus that section was born.
There you go.
That's the story.
That's the story. So that's who Uncle is.
I do like the idea that he was based on TFC. I do like that, though.
That is a really nice idea. That can also kind of be, that's really sweet. I like that.
That is really sweet.
Lida, hi. Thank you so much for the sub. 15 months.
But yeah,
Let's
if you guys
go.
have any questions, feel free to
Appreciate
drop
it.
them in the chat at any time and we'll answer them.
Yes, we'll catch the questions if you have any. Even if they're just completely random, out of the blue. What's Tango's favorite color? I don't know.
Also, we're not gonna go through each character's backstory, because that's gonna take forever. But if you have a question about a character's specific backstory, please ask. There's one character we will not be going into though. Also, K-Pope with I think it's that command. That's not the command. I don't know what the command is. You can go to AO3, sorry. Oh, Zim finished it. What is Tango's favorite color? That's
Blue.
a good question. Blue. Oh, yes. Yes.
Right?
I know why.
Is that something that is in your embers at my fingertips? No?
No. His favorite color is blue because of the water.
Okay. I can't wait to get into that actually. Yes. That's gonna be
fun.
That's the question. Do we want to be chronological or do we just want to jump into topics and then talk about them?
I don't think we need to be chronological. I think
that's also kind of like my thought. Whatever. We wrote this down chronologically.
Yeah.
But like, who needs to be chronological? Come on.
Who needs that?
Who needs that? Yeah, who needs organization that we spent hours and hours and hours on?
I know. Oh my god. We literally went through. I went through and wrote out. We did most of it together. We went through and wrote out everything that happened in Your Embers at my fingertips with notes about what we wanted to talk about. And now it's like, we don't need to do it chronologically.
Nah.
So, what do you mean?
I really like... We're going to just dive straight in there. What's organizing? I don't know. I don't know what organizing is.
Doesn't exist.
If we're immediately going to jump in, because like, I have a lot of kind of thoughts on Tango's perspective of everything because I wrote Your Light in My Eyes from Tango's perspective.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of thoughts while I was writing that, what's going on in Tango's brain, how he works and all that. Obviously, you also have your own headcanons and stuff. But I have many things to say. And I really enjoyed, firstly, just delving into Tango's perspective and kind of like trying to write how he would tell this story from his perspective kind of thing. It's not like he's telling this story, but it's very zoomed in on him, using like ifications in words and stuff and thoughts. So that's kind of like, I really enjoyed that part of the writing, I will say. But Tango's love for water and like the color blue is just character development in its purest form. So, like, because Tango, he grew up and fire has always been a part of him since he was born. Like, I think we have it where he was born and there was already a fire on his head. So a very obvious firebender, right?
Yeah.
And he's had time in his life where he's had trouble with firebending and trouble with controlling that firebending. Did we end up having it so that he had a waterbending healer around him?
I don't know if that was ever talked about, but yes, that did happen.
And that person wasn't a very good person?
No.
Yes, okay, I do remember correctly then, so...
Yeah, we talked about that, but I don't know if I ever wrote it.
Do you want to kind of go into that briefly, just so that... Because I don't know exactly what you had in mind there?
Yeah, okay. First, hi Woodhat. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so Tango comes from a rich family. with like influential parents in the Fire Nation, both inventors, you know, kind of like well known in the community. Also, his grandparents started Tech University, which I almost said something, Katie, which Impulse goes to at the end of the story. And so they started that university. So his parents, you know, went to that university. They kind of, they're alumni. They help run it, all of that. So they have a lot of money. When Tango is born, he has he has fire hair, and he can't, like, he's a firebender from birth, right? Like, you can't, it's hard to teach an infant and a toddler how to control their fire. And the way that he learns to control his fire is not the way that he was taught. So the way he's taught is by like controlling. And that doesn't work for him, which is why, like, I described it differently. You have to work with your flame. You can't force it, you know, like when he's teaching Jimmy. And so he was never good at controlling it. And when his emotions got extreme, he ended up burning things and himself. Because he's not fireproof. He has fire hair, so it's like his scalp is, but his neck and his shoulders and everything else aren't. So they had to hire a waterbending healer to watch after him and heal the burns that happened. And maybe I'm sure they went through a couple at first. The one they settled on was not good. Like, sort of almost drowned him several times. Out of frustration. So for a while, he really didn't like water, right? And then he met Jimmy, and he met Pearl, and he saw that not all people who bend water, and Scott too, to be fair, are not bad people. I mean, and then he suddenly is able to bend water.
To be fair, they didn't have their
memories. Entirely different way.
They didn't have their memories in Double Life, so he doesn't have that prejudice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
But it really was the like being able to bend water himself really changed, in my eyes, really changed that perspective for him.
And then also kind of like how bending water is very similar to how he taught himself firebending. It's very intuitive to him. Like, if he had remained the Avatar, I feel like water would have been his like second favorite element.
Yeah.
Or maybe even become his favorite if it's like trumping fire, because to him bending, like, I like the comparison of Jimmy and Tango when it's got their views on bending, right? To Jimmy, bending is something that he's always wanted to be able to do. Like, his entire life, he's had this longing for bending, thinking he's like meant for more, that he should be able to bend. And then you have Tango, who's been bending since birth, and it's more of a burden than anything else, like a reason for his parents to lock him away, for this waterbender to be like to abuse him, I guess. And for him, it's a burden. It's something that is really difficult to live with, and he'd rather live without in some cases, right?
Yeah.
But then he kind of learns the beauty of all the different elements, and how it's a gift, and that he kind of learns that from Jimmy, and it kind of refreshes his perspective on it. And yeah, I like the idea that Tango can then find calming in water, where he has all these like he has all these moments of panic when he finds out he can bend more than just fire in a limited life, because that's also something that's like a huge amount of pressure on his shoulders, right? He never wanted. He's just like, you know what, I always had all this pressure from my parents. Yes, I become an inventor because I wanted to, but like, I don't need any extra pressure. And having destiny thrust the chosen one on your shoulders, that's a lot. He didn't want that. And so in that situation, water became kind of like a calming thing for him that could kind of bring him back down to earth, ground him. Funnily enough, that wasn't actually earthbending that did that. But yes, he sees the beauty in the water bending, and if there were an element that he misses after no longer being able to bend all the elements, then it would be water bending.
I have a one shot for that.
Yes! That's one that I read, literally.
I haven't posted it yet. But that'll go up soon.
Was that my Christmas present?
Yes.
That is okay. So that's a really cool one shot. Definitely go read it because that's some absolute rancher adorableness. And,
I think I'll post it tomorrow.
There you go.
I'll post it tomorrow.
I won't spoil too much, but it's just like them helping through each other
it's
through
a good
stuff.
One.
It's a good one. I enjoyed it a lot.
Nini's got a question. Would Tango die if the flames went out?
No.
Right? No, they would kind of just pop up again. Because like if his whole head gets wet, then yeah, they're gonna go out for a second, but then they'll pop up and just be smaller.
Can we just appreciate that? If he's like, imagine he's underwater. He's just bald underwater.
He's just bald.
Because he doesn't have hair, right? His hair would have burnt off.
Yeah.
I know I refer to his flame as his hair every now and again in the story, and I did ponder on whether I should change that, but I was like, you know what? Nah. But
nah, it's fine.
When dude is submerged, dude is bald. Have that an image for you.
Yep. Cursed Tango.
Underwater
we had cursed
Tango
Etho with a beard, now we have cursed Tango bald.
I will say though, little tangent, every time I draw Tango, I draw him bald first and then I draw the fire on top. So I have multiple bald Tango. I could right now pull up a bald Tango on my iPad right as we speak.
Love that.
Have I actually this is whether I'm actually true to what I'm saying. Yep. Oh, but I haven't got the liner on the same layer. This would be a
Nini, do not throw a Pokeball at Tango. He would not appreciate that.
Pokeball at Tango. Is he fire type? Another addition to the curse drawings, yes. I kind of just want to draw a wet Tango.
Do you have it on your stream?
Me? Drawing of Tango?
Did you pull up a drawing on your stream?
I don't, because it would be animatic spoilers.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
You
could send it to me if you wanted to.
I'm trying to find one that doesn't have like the line art on a different layer, but I think I don't have that. I'll give you this example. I'll send you this example on Discord.
Okay. I won't show it to anybody.
Let's just get undo those cursed images. Where's Discord? Okay. Brain is braining.
We're professionals, guys.
We're professionals. We just share.
This is what happens when you get Katie and me in a room. Oh my goodness.
They've just seen it.
That's just cursed for a different reason.
You know what? I'm going to show it on stream because it's a bit mean if I don't.
Okay.
I need to just open some programs first, though. Feel free to show yours on stream if you can as well. Oh, it's not loading.
This should be. Hold on.
Excited for the day we can be in the same room. That's just going to be extra chaos.
That's going to be great. Hold on. Let me.
Are you guys ready for chaos?
Guys, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
Enjoy that.
Bald Tango. Don't ask why he's wearing glasses.
It's bald Rengo.
No, you spoiled.
Oh.
Fuck.
Sorry.
That's the question. I don't know. It's fine. Don't worry. I don't know if that would be obvious or not.
I mean, I don't know. He's got sunglasses and
he's got sunglasses and a ponytail. Bald blaze. Yeah, there we go. I often have the line art of the hair on a separate layer as well, so you would just have a bald Tango, but not here for some reason. Yes, we have a ponytail. So there's your daily animatic spoilers, everyone.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just close all the apps because otherwise that's going to just distract me. And back we are. Tangent over.
Yep.
Zim refuses. What do you refuse, Zim? I refuse to
acknowledge bald Tango.
Probably. Oh, you know, Zim says no. No. Just the first thing that they say.
Just no.
So yeah, that's like one of my favorite fun facts about Tango in this fic. Because
I love that.
I remember asking you like, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Zim refuses to acknowledge that this exists.
I was right. I guessed correctly.
I mean, I had a section. So Your Light in My Eyes went through a lot of edits because I decided at some point this is getting way too long. So I sat in a call with Hawke and we just kind of like cut a couple of things from...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And we had one thing where Tango kind of, after waterbending for the first time, jumped in the water. And we kind of had a thing there where he could feel the water around him and it's like sensory overload. I kind of...
Well, we had the section... Well, you had the section where Martin, like, grabs him after he goes through the nether portal.
Yes.
And, like, chucks him off the edge and into the water.
Yeah. So basically,
and then they
Tango
get to the Mean Girls Island, and Scott's like, "You can't do that."
Yes. Basically,
He's got sensory overload.
We had it where Martin finds out from the Watchers that Tango can now waterbend, and he's like, "Right, it's time for Earth," and that's where in the story he grabs Tango, and then there's a cold cut to him training earthbending with Martin and Cleo.
Yeah.
But I had a section in between where, he just grabs Tango, yeets both of them off of the Ty's Skynet into the water, and then just drags him onto Mean Girls Island while Tango is kind of in a state of shock. And Scott is like, "What are you doing?"
It was a good scene. It was just not necessary.
It did, yeah, and it didn't fit. It added a whole another level of all this sensory overload that, like, it's not like Tango has enough to worry about, right? Just added another level of stuff, so didn't necessarily think we needed that. I still have the text if anyone's interested.
Oh yeah, I was like, don't delete anything. Never delete your writing.
Yeah,
put it in a different document.
Great help. All the best tips from pro writer Hawke.
That's what happens when you've been writing for like 12 years or 14 years or something like that. I've been writing since I was like 6. Wow. I wrote little Barbie doll books. My dad made little books for our Barbie dolls, and I would write stories for them.
Cute. Love that.
Nini says you should post the thing. I think that's what you're talking about.
I haven't edited them. I've got a couple of little like sections that are like additions. Not all of them are canon because I talked to Hawke afterwards, and you were like, "I don't like that."
Yeah, I was like, some of these don't work.
And if we start talking about Etho, then that can be like a point where we're like, we can go into that.
Oh my gosh, Etho was fun.
Zim wrote stories for the American Girl dolls.
Oh, nice.
So, I didn't have
that. Yeah, Nini knows a secret. Nini knows a secret. We will not be talking about Etho on this.
No, there's only so much we can talk about Etho. There's limited information.
There's one specific character that I don't want to reveal information about yet. And it was hilarious. I told Nini that they could guess 3 characters every stream. And if it was the character I wasn't going to talk about, I would tell them. They guessed Etho first.
Great. But yes, Etho is as much as this is the director's commentary, author's commentary, and you're going to just talk about everything about Your Embers at my fingertips, I'm going to add what I can with Your Light in My Eyes.
Yeah.
Etho is the no-go.
Etho's... So... Etho's a character that if I continue, like as I continue writing one-shots, if I do more with Etho, it's going to be in those one-shots. Like if you've read the first one, which is it's like frogfish at my fingertips. Yeah, it was the first one-shot I wrote. It was the frogfish at my fingertips. You can, I don't know who you can thank for that one, but it wasn't me.
It was so good.
That was like how B-Dubs and Etho met, and that has some more information about him. But he's a character that I want to leave mysterious for the most part, because I feel like if I tell you what his backstory is, it takes away like the aura that I want him to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He is a mysterious character by trade. Like that's his whole persona. That's his whole thing.
Yeah. Like not even the Watchers know his backstory. That's how mysterious he is.
That yes. Oh, there is so much, and also with like other characters that shall not be named. Yes.
Sorry.
You could.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes. Give me a sec, my dude. I gotta do some thank yous on my side.
Okay, I actually
Fernandos,
have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
We'll do a little interlude then, cool. Fernandos, we got another hourglass. Let's go. 18 months. Thank you so much. We got a new Void IP. Yeah, I don't know, like, I had that set up for whenever, whenever people become a Void IB, but it for some reason copied it over to everything following the Void IB as soon as people get the Void IB, but yes. I know how Twitch works, I promise. But thank you so much. We've got another hourglass, guys. Dude, 18 months is a long time. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much, my dude. Thank you. And I'm gonna unmute so I can talk to Hawke's chat as well. How are we feeling, guys? If you have any questions about your embers at my fingertips and your light in my eyes, then do ask them. If you're asking them in Hawke's chat, then I'm afraid have to wait until Hawke is back to see them. Obviously, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, if there's any questions you have for me specifically, especially now, I could answer. But yeah, this has been such a long project, and it's been really cool, kind of being along for the ride for Hawke's stuff. Oh sure, you can share some exciting. Hold on, I got Zim on my side. We'll have a little we'll have a little Zim. What's going on? Have a concert tonight with some very cool. Let's go. We love concerts. I haven't been to a concert in so long. Like pre-COVID, I think was my last concert. I have a friend of mine. We're on a tangent of concerts, and I just need to tell the story because I have a friend of mine that last weekend went to their first concert after COVID, and they fell over and like not necessarily broke their knee, but like dislodged their knee, so they're now on crutches, and they're like, right, that's all the concerts I need to go to. Bless him.
Shadow has rejoined me after abandoning. Yeah, Nini, it's Shadow's Streamly visit.
Is Simon here? Simon's not around. She's out and about. She's bowling right now. She has a social life. I sit here and talk about fan fiction. Which I am not complaining.
It's two of us.
Touche.
We're being social. We're just a continent apart.
I am not complaining in any way, shape, or form.
You think you don't have a social life? I can't go anywhere.
Oh, choral concert. Fine. Let's go. So you're in the part of the concert sim. Okay. Like a choral. I for some reason read choral and I was like, Mean Girls. I'm like, hold on, no. I have that connection. We love it. I don't know where we were. Where did we end up? Topic-wise.
We were talking about Etho, I think.
Ah, yes. or about how we're not going to talk about Etho.
Oh yeah, how about how we're not going to talk about Etho more specifically?
If we're not going to talk about Etho, there is something very important I kind of want to talk about. Brain. Hold on, let me just take a swig of caffeine and be right back.
Okay.
Right, yes, I want to talk about a thing. We don't talk about Etho. Oh. Exactly. I want to touch on the fact... Are we getting nommed by Shadow?
No, she got her nose stuck on a cord.
That's not great. Bless her.
No, she's okay.
I want to talk about...
She's just doing her, Streamly visit of, come sit on the couch, you're done now.
we still got a while to go. We're only an hour in.
Yeah.
I want to talk about why we have some non-benders in the cast.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few facets there on why that's important. Like from the perspective, like from a lore perspective, like why the Watchers would choose non-benders for their tests.
I'm just gonna quickly make a disclaimer. I have recently fiddled with stuff like this for my book. So I might leave this to Katie because I'm gonna get mixed up.
Sure. And I hope I mention stuff
I'll just
not
add
from
stuff.
Your book. That's the thing. I know a couple of things from your book, but obviously not as much as you. I hope I don't mention stuff that is specifically thought for your book and not for this story.
Yeah. Well, we can tell each other to shut up if we need to.
Yes, shout at me. But yeah, there was kind of, because when we were originally kind of adding elements to different people, saying, hey, this person would bend this person would bend that. There was originally like the idea that Jimmy would be the only non-bender in the group.
Yeah.
And
we ended up not doing that because it felt sort of ableist of like, oh, the reason they're making fun of him is because he doesn't bend an element. And that's like, yeah, but there are really, badass non-bender people in Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. So they don't need to have an element to be able to fight.
I think that was like an important
also, some characters just didn't fit with an element in my head. So it was good to have a variety.
Yeah.
Also, from a lore perspective, and if you've read The Watcher's Notes, which is another one-shot on my AO3, that kind of goes over that one of the things they were trying to do with these tests was invoke bending in non-benders. So obviously they need non-benders to be able to achieve that.
Yeah. So, man, I was just about to go into more detail on some things, but that is a your story thing, and I'm like, hold up. Dang it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a non-fan fiction thing. I was like, wait a minute.
That's something else.
Like, I was going to be like, yes, the Watchers were doing that, and I'm like, no.
Nope.
Stop.
No, they were not.
Shut. Was it a thing where the Watchers...
I think it fits Scar a lot better to be a non-bender, because there wasn't an element that fit with him.
I think, if anything, I would connect him most with an Earthbender, but maybe that's just because he's from the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah, that's where my head went too, but I do like him better as a non-bender.
I think, and yeah, you've also got the green eyes, which is like typical for Earth Kingdom, and then there was lore, exactly. Yeah, man, the Watchers, so irredeemable.
Yeah.
But they had their reasons. right? Is it always just you?
The best villains have their reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make a villain have a reason that they're doing the thing that they're doing and why they think what they're doing is good, that makes them so much better as a villain than just having them be evil.
And especially if you can then sympathize with what they're doing, think like in practice, their goal is a good thing, but the hurdles that they are prepared to jump over for that, the lengths they are prepared to go to, that is the bad thing.
Yeah, because again, if you've read some of the one shots, there is a one shot. Let me see what it's called really quick. Down here, the creation of the eye. It is from like maybe a few years after the Watchers, or like, at some point after the Watchers were created. The avatar that created the Watchers has passed away.
Spoilers.
And now we're transitioning leadership. And you see how that transition happens from we're trying to save Bending from going extinct in a humane, safe environment where it's consensual, nobody's getting hurt, it's fine, to we're going to make you kill each other.
Yep.
To see what happens.
And that's something that happens over generations, right? Because you've got the avatars before Jimmy, Pixel Riffs, Dan, and Stampy. And that's like generations of different avatars. So it was like a long journey for them to become as corrupt as they are.
Yes, it was slow transition. Aor was the avatar that created. It was a very Empire Season 1 filled one shot.
Oh, okay. I haven't read
Main character was Shelby. It was great. So the avatar was Aor, and he created the Watchers, and then Xornoth took over, and then everyone was basically a prisoner. And nobody could do anything. Like, he just took complete control. And that's when you start seeing things become worse. It wasn't immediately fight to the death. It was fight until one of you is unconscious. It was different kinds of tests. It was introducing new ideas. And then eventually, when they had the technology for simulations, it was fight until there's only one of you remaining. Oh yeah, and Cod was there. We had a character named Cod. It was great. I had fun with this one.
It's like an insert for Jimmy.
Yeah, it was the Cod father.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got Sunflower. You've got Sunflower and Sausage.
Yes.
It was fun. I had fun with it.
Cod, Sunflower, and Sausage. Like, without any context, if you didn't know about Empires, if you didn't know about anything.
I have no idea what that means.
Wacky names, mate.
Yep.
Love that. Oh, yes, my characters, Cod and Sausage.
Yep. I couldn't use Pearl again.
No, of course not.
Couldn't use Pearl.
Well, Sunflower makes the most sense out of both. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that people might notice, but I don't know if anyone's noticed it unless they were at my stream, I described her eyes as river blue, which in another one shot I described Pearl's eyes as river blue, which has a different meaning that only Katie knows. But it links the two together as in like alluding that they're somehow connected, which they are related. Like Sunflower is Pearl's ancestor. Cod, Sausage, and Sunflower. Huh, sounds like an interesting dinner date.
Cod,
Wait, what does Katie know that we don't?
Well, I know everything.
That's for you to find. That's for Katie to know and you to find out.
All the things I know.
There's a lot of things that you don't know now because I haven't.
I know. I know. I haven't had the time to keep up with all the lore.
I know.
Bad.
It's okay. There's like half a book that you don't know.
Sigh. Cry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I will physically one day have it in my hands and
yes, you will.
Read
and
it.
It'll be great.
And so will you guys in chat, right?
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Nini's taking notes.
Write that down, write that down. Is there any kind of cryptic things that we could say? Just single words. Can I DM you? Can I DM you a word?
Yeah,
Can I say that with no context?
Sure.
Tattoo.
Jewel.
Tattoo.
There you go.
There you go.
Tattoo and jewel, those are your two.
And jewel, yes. Oh yes, that's.
Nini knows what that means. If you subscribe to my Patreon, you can also know what that means.
There you go. There's the tattoo and jewel. That is some really cool words.
Yeah. We came up with some fun stuff.
I'm always happy to, like, every now and again I get like these things like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and this is how you're thinking to do stuff, and I'm like, I can see what I think of this, and then kind of give a bit of feedback. We've kind of gotten past
Katie
the point
helped
in
me
my
a
friendship,
lot with
where I'm just like, yeah, everything's cool, yep. Where I dare to give a bit of feedback that is kind of like, you could do it this way, or you could do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we were both like that when we first became friends, where it was like, oh yeah, this is great, this is fun, and now we're both like, you could do it this way also.
But also, like, with the thing of, like, no pressure if you don't like this idea, and you like your idea more, obviously. Right?
Yeah, it's like, you know, we're both comfortable enough with each other now that we're able to give actual feedback with, you know, but also still obviously, like, you don't have to take this is just a thought.
Yeah. Just
Katie helped me a lot with a recent thing that I was working on, where I was like, this is my idea, and she was like, let me do all this research because you're in a flare-up and you can't.
My research was literally going on a website and screenshotting half of the website and sending it to you without even properly reading through it.
Well, but it meant I didn't have to go through the website.
It was like an evening where I'd come back from uni and done uni work afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah.
Metroid in my chat
I was surprised when you were like, I have time to kill, let me just do this.
It was a case of, like, I either do this or I have to do programming, so, you know, that's much nicer.
Yeah.
Metroid says at least the words tattoo and jewel aren't as confusing and cryptic as Cub's Twitter post before season 10 of Hermitcraft. Which were, yes, agreed, very cryptic, and goodness knows what that is going through that man's brain. I bet some people understood it. I kind of gave up looking at Twitter after a while. Especially because there were spoilers on Twitter about who was joining. Dang it.
Sorry.
It's alright. I'm so happy that Skiz and Joel.
Yeah, it makes me so happy.
What? I almost said, I'm going to DM you what I almost said, and that makes absolutely no sense that I almost said that. I almost, instead of Joel, I almost said that. And that makes zero sense.
I thought, hold on.
You thought the other one.
I thought you were about to say that.
No. This is the kind of thing, guys, one day you will be able to know what these words are that we are sending to each other.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine.
If you want to know the words sooner, you should go subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah, the two words that we've just DM'd each other, you could probably know then already, right?
You could know within a matter of months those words.
There you go.
Actually, more like a couple months, because if I have like 14 characters, which I will say I have 14 characters, and I'm doing one character a week, in 2 months you know who the characters are.
There you go. Only 14.
You have a question you forgot you had. Yeah, well, I'm doing the first 14. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
not
makes
the
sense.
other.
The others.
So wait, I have a question I forgot I had until I started reading YAMF the second time. Jimmy got bloodbended. Oh yeah, Jimmy got bloodbended. I figured we were gonna have that question. When, who, why? Well, you see.
You see.
There is a bloodbending. I almost said the other thing. There is a bloodbending cloaked watcher. And
three head
I will
watchers,
just
right?
say the table room involved quite a bit of torture. I will not go into what the torture was, but there was torture involved. And one of the cloaked watchers could bloodbend.
The cloaked watchers were, one of them can lightning bend, one of them can fly, an airbender that can fly, and the other one can lightning bend. Those are the three cloaked watchers.
Yep. Those are the three cloaked watchers for that compound.
It's also I'm guessing important to mention, Jimmy wasn't actually meant to be in those tests.
Jimmy was a mistake.
Oof, that's heavy. Yeah, he was only captured because he caught the Watchers capturing Joel, and so the Watchers kind of panicked, going like, "Well, we can't just leave him here. He's seen us." So yeah, he basically, they took him as well.
He was a panic kidnap.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, imagine
Jimmy got snatched with Joel. Yeah.
Imagine the beef that they're gonna have with the head watchers that the henchmen just took. Like, what do you mean you took another person? This wasn't planned. So basically,
well, actually, that's hold on.
Oh.
Let me just look at that.
Confirm. Is Katie saying a bunch of BS, which wouldn't be surprising?
No. Oh, that was something else. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't put this on the notes, but the notes for the watchers notes, but there were a couple of moments during this story where they didn't actually report the head watchers what was happening until it had already happened. Like, they didn't say that they had the avatar initially because they didn't want to get in trouble.
You love that.
Because so the cloaked watchers are bad, but the head watchers are worse.
Okay.
So even the cloaked watchers are scared of the head watchers.
Oh.
So think about that for a second.
Yikes. So the cloaked watchers aren't even head watchers?
No.
Are the head watchers like the council of all the watchers?
Eyes.
Oh. Okay.
The cloaked watchers are eyes.
This is stuff
which
that I don't know.
Which I put in the watchers notes. Also, hold on. I'm gonna pull that up just out of curiosity.
Oh, the watchers.
I forgot what I put.
Dude, I was scrolling through our document, going like the watchers notes. Yes, because we have a section on the watchers, and then you said the watchers notes. I was scrolling to that point and I'm reading it. I'm going like, I don't see it. Where did you write this? Oh
yeah. Sorry. Also, the compound that they're in for this story is compound 521.
Does that number have some significance?
So it means that there are 520 other compounds in the world, or there have been.
Yeah. Yikes. But does that number hold any kind of like insider thing?
No.
Okay.
It's just a number.
Just a random number. Okay.
And I didn't want it to be the same number as something else.
Okay. Cool. 520, more than 500, because is it confirmed that is the last? Because surely that would be like a number in between all the different content.
It probably isn't the most recent one. There's probably others. Like, there's probably others that were started after, because this is 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, they've already been there for 7 years, and they've done 3 tests. They've probably started others. And the other compounds may have different intentions for their testing.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Other
Right.
compounds may only have water benders and be trying to do
Ooh.
stuff with water benders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other compounds might only have non-benders.
Mm.
You know, it just depends on what the purpose is. This
Do with
purpose
that.
was meant to be a mix.
Mm-hmm. Oof. Yep. Love that.
I'm
That
very
is-
angsty, can you tell?
Yeah, Tango and Jimmy have their work cut out for them. And the listeners.
Yup. I will go ahead and say I do not intend on writing a sequel because I'm working on my own projects now.
Yeah.
I have my own stories. I have like a whole big universe that I have planned out with my new characters. Like a whole new thing.
Yeah.
So I don't intend on coming back to this in anything other than one-shot form.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also a pretty rounded off story, right? I just realized I've been
It
really
ends
forward.
like where it should, I think.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
It's open-ended. There's so many places it could go.
Mm-hmm. And hey, if you as the viewer are inspired to take that story and think, I want to write an addition to that. I want to write them in this situation. Go for it, right?
Absolutely.
Just check with you that that's okay, because this is your story. Do what I
just
did.
Obviously just put that it's inspired by my fic.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's not like your original world, you know?
Yeah.
Life series X Atla X Maze Runners. That would be interesting.
I don't know the plot of Maze Runners.
Actually, it's surprisingly similar to the life series. They wake up in the middle of a maze with no memories, and they just live in this maze filled with monsters.
That sounds very much.
The plot of the Maze Runners is that the new guy gets them out.
Okay. I should watch that. That sounds interesting.
Oh, Nini already wrote the Scott bloodbending scene from Scott's view.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that.
Where? Hello, I want to know. Did you post it anywhere, Nini?
Did you post it anywhere? Because I think we would both love to read that.
Because if it's on A3, I'm immediately...
The most recent one shot I wrote was Pearl bloodbending in Last Life to save Scott.
Writer's talking is inspiring. Apparently that's so awesome to hear, Phoenix. Let us know, Nini. Let us know. Only if you're comfortable to share, obviously. No pressure, right?
Yeah, no, if you don't want to post it, they didn't post it. That's totally fine. If you're not comfortable posting that do not worry at all.
That makes us really happy though pressure. That you were inspired to kind of add your own voice to that story. That's really cool. Yeah,
definitely. Should we go into what everybody bends at the end?
Oh my god! Sorry.
Are you okay?
So that bug I was talking about in that call before the stream, it just fell off the ceiling.
Okay.
Hold on. Where is it now? I need to have it in my peripherals. Okay. It's all good. That scared the life out of me.
Oh, goodness.
I've been eyeing it the entire stream, and it's just been climbing higher and higher and higher in this room with stupidly high ceiling, and it just fell. I just hear this pitter-patter, and I don't see it anymore.
When you screamed, Shadow's head shot up, and she looked at me.
Bless her. Because I guess that came through the headphones. So
I get,
that was coming from
I think
you.
She's heard your voice, because she sometimes responds to your voice.
Ah, hi, Shadow. I can't wait to meet Shadow. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the jump scare. That scared me as well. Slight tangent. I was sending a voice message to my family the other day, to the family chat, and that was while I was walking up the hill. It was really dark outside. I'd just come home from work, and I was walking up a really steep hill on a dirt path, which makes me sound like I'm the old witch that lives in the woods, but I'm not, I promise. But that's just my way home at the moment. And I was sending my family a voice message, and just suddenly a frog jumps out at me. And in the middle of the voice message, I just scream.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, Tangent over that. I thought I felt like mentioning that as well. That was yesterday.
Nini has so many thoughts about Scott and Pearl.
Scott and Pearl, all the thoughts about Scott and Pearl.
We love the Scott and Pearl dynamic.
Yes. Can we talk about the Scott and Pearl dynamic? Because
sure.
So they team up in Last Life. Pearl is there in Third Life, right? She teams up with the Clockers.
Yeah.
Clockers. Crassel.
The Crassel, yeah.
I'm in the wrong series. It's Cleo and B-Dubs, whatever.
Yeah.
She teams up with them.
I get that mixed up a lot too.
There's this very important addition / not addition of Scar in that. Because he plays a very important role in Third Life.
Yeah.
But okay,
I have very strong opinions that Scar was the villain of Third Life. I will die on that hill.
Feel free to. That wasn't me saying you should die on that. Hold on.
No, I know.
Hold on.
I have so many opinions. It's fine. Moving on.
I'm saying have your opinions. They're definitely valid. I'm not saying die on that hill, Hawke, because that's a terrible opinion. No, I'm sorry. I'm immediately backtracking, seeing how that sounds. Yes. But oh my gosh, their relationship feels very tragic. Because they're like besties.
I have a lot of tragic relationships.
Yes, true. Case in point, Grian and Scar. Mumbo and Grian.
Absolutely.
Martin and
but yeah,
anyone.
Scott and Pearl were like exceptionally close in Last Life, as you know, as in canon. And then there's a moment in the last one shot that I wrote before I had to take a break, where Joel is like threatening to kill Scott, like has a flame dagger to his throat, kind of threaten. And Pearl bloodbends Joel to save Scott. And then she instantly believes that Scott's going to want nothing to do with her. Yes, thank you, Emerald Dusk. It is good. I agree. And so the last bit of that one shot is like Scott private messaging Pearl, like, I just want to talk to you, please. I don't hate you, please come back, like that kind of thing.
Aww.
And then you've got another section where Cleo is direct messaging Pearl, like, answer him or I'm gonna kill you. Answer him, like that kind of vibe. Obviously in the threat of like, I'm gonna kill you if you don't do this thing. But not actually.
Oh.
And so Pearl ends up leaving their trio at the end of Last Life.
Oh.
Because she's so afraid of Scott abandoning her.
But
she doesn't believe that he can love her even after that, obviously platonically.
Yeah, platonically, everyone.
And then you've got, it's all platonic.
This is why I'm gay. Quoting Scott on Double Life.
Literally. But then also you've obviously got Double Life where they were at each other's throats essentially.
Yep. I mean, keeping in mind they don't have their memories in Last Life, and their memories are wiped again fresh in Double Life. It's only in Limited Life when they all have their memories, because the memory wipe process, I imagine, is quite a lengthy one that the Watchers just didn't have time for.
Yeah, they weren't able to set it up. Like, it was a very makeshift operation. They did it. They set that up during the time that Jimmy was awake. Like, that was all the time they had to prepare this test.
You can tell
that's why, like, there's no
pods
actual pods. It's underground. Like, it's very makeshift.
And they also
that's why there are so many glitches.
Yeah, and they also kind of do it to also just torture the players.
They don't intend for the players to make it out of this alive. Like, this is end game. Which we can get to in a second when I finish wrapping this up. But then then when they wake up and then you've got Limited Life, it's like Scott wants to reconnect with Pearl, but it's like so many conflicting memories are happening for both of them. It's really hard. And then obviously, like, you've got them being in this in the listener's base and recovering and everything. They don't talk for that entire time. Every time Scott approaches Pearl, she walks away. Like, she cannot talk to him. She can't bring herself to do it.
There is so much baggage.
Yeah, there's just so much that she doesn't believe that he can still want to be her friend genuinely. He keeps trying, and after he leaves, he continues to send letters to her. She doesn't open them. She's too afraid to.
Oh, bless.
I am at some point going to write a one-shot where she does open one of his letters and reads it and responds. But that takes months. Like, she has so much trauma built up from people leaving her. Like, she was literally kicked out of her village for saving them through bloodbending. So she doesn't believe that anyone can love her.
And especially because bloodbending is a taboo, especially in the water tribes. And Scott is from the northern water tribe?
Yeah, he's from the northern, she's from the southern.
So he's grown up with all those taboos. She just can't fathom, with all that has been preached to her when she was growing up and then shouted at her face when she started bloodbending, that anyone else from the water tribe could ever accept her. Especially.
Yeah. Nini has a good point. How Scott must feel with all the memories, knowing that Jimmy and Tango managed to keep Pearl as a friend, convince her that they don't bother, while he wasn't able to convince her. And I think that comes into, he's from the water tribe. She can't believe that he could accept her when he grew up with all of that, like, hatred for bloodbenders shoved at him.
She grew up with the same thing, right?
Yeah.
She's got to work through her own amount of internalized self-loathing. That I'm sure she's already worked through that before the whole tests situation, but obviously the tests open old wounds and create new ones. Right?
This is a good question. How did Lizzie think about the bloodbending? Because Lizzie's also a waterbender. I think the difference for Lizzie is she's lived in the Fire Nation for a long time. That's how she met Joel, was when she moved to the Fire Nation. So she's kind of been out of that, like, extremely intense stigma. So I don't think Pearl would trust her either, but probably because they were never close. She probably doesn't like it because she grew up with that stigma too. But
so here's my thought, right? Pearl joins the listeners after everything, right? Am I correct in saying that? That's not a spoiler, is it?
Yeah, she does.
So out of everyone kind of at the end of everything goes their own ways, but Pearl joins the listeners with Tilly. And my thought with Lizzie, obviously Lizzie doesn't necessarily continue with the listeners. She then starts her life with Joel, or continues her life in the big city. But my thought is Lizzie has been exposed, like, the listeners accept Pearl for who she is. And are like, well, sometimes, look, we're doing a good thing here. Sometimes you just got to get your hands a bit dirty to stop an arguably far worse evil. So they're accepting of her bloodbending and thinking it's a great skill to have in their field of work, right?
Yeah.
And so my thought is potentially Lizzie was already exposed to that. Potentially the listeners have bloodbenders in their ranks already.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, you know what, whatever, I need to get over my prejudice if it means saving Joel and Jimmy. So in her time with the listeners, maybe she's been able to kind of get over that and kind of become more accepting. I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, this is something, we're creating lore as stuff happens.
We're creating lore.
And that's why you guys asking questions is actually really cool, because then we can think about stuff or discuss stuff that we wouldn't have thought about previously.
Exactly.
But oh man, all the conflicting thoughts. Oh, Pearl and Scott, my sweethearts. I feel so sorry for them.
Yeah, they had. I mean, to be fair, all of the characters had a rough time.
Yeah, everyone's been through it. Everyone's had their things happen.
Oh my gosh, especially Martin.
Oh my gosh.
Poor baby Martin.
Poor baby Martin. I love the fact that we were able to bring that kind of, you incorporated the Dai Li Avatar, The Last Airbender storyline that is actually canon for that. That is like a part of world building that you were able to bring into Your Embers at My Fingertips. Because there isn't a huge amount of Avatar The Last Airbender world building apart from the bending, right? Because they're in a simulation for most of the story, either in a simulation or in a compound. They're not out in the world in the story.
Yeah.
So it's really
There's a bit more world building, like incorporating Avatar The Last Airbender in the one-shots, because some of it happens like before or after the tests. But yeah, the reason I incorporated the Dai Li is because you know what great angst is? Having a character be mind controlled and fighting you. And so your main character like can't fight back because it's their friend.
Yeah.
And so you're just being pummeled by your best friend.
And especially...
well, you can't do anything to defend yourself.
It works so well with Martin because he's got the whole... like... he's got the whole law where he's either listeners or doing the watcher's bidding or goodness knows what. And
that's why I chose him specifically.
Especially because he yeets Cleo off a cliff.
Yes, it worked so well.
It works so well. we love adding angst to Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, but dude.
Yeah,
so I feel so sorry. His flashback was so sad because when you included all the flashbacks, you've got like this person that cares about the person who's been kidnapped, then joined the listeners. For Martin, it's just like no one questioned his absence.
Martin's got nobody.
Oh man.
In retrospect, I wish I had done a flashback for each character.
Well, who didn't you do one for? Cleo, B-dubs?
I know I didn't do one for Big B.
Big B. Ren? No, you did one for Ren. Cleo, B-dubs, Big B. I mean, Joel's and Lizzie's was kind of in Jimmy's.
Well, the ones that I did one for Tango. I put Jimmy and Joel in the same one shot, the same flashback, so I consider that one for both of them. You've got Martin, you've got Etho, you've got Skiz, Grian, Impulse, Ren, Pearl, and then the Jimmy and Tango section. So there's like maybe half of them that I didn't do a one-shot for.
You did a one-shot for 10 of them.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, I've counted it. Jimmy,
so
Tango, Joel.
I didn't do one for.
So Jimmy, Tango, Joel. The question is, you also have, do you count the Lizzie one on that? I know you did one for Lizzie where she joins the listeners.
That's a one shot.
Yeah, right. That's not.
That's not in the story.
Okay. So, but you've had like. No,
I had most of them.
This is me thinking about the other project. And the yeah.
No, I did one for all of them.
I was like, wait, but Bigby had. Oh no.
No. The other character had one.
Bigby didn't have that history.
I liked that one shot. I enjoyed that one. Oh, do you remember the one I made you stare off into space for a minute? That was fun.
You made me stare off into space?
Yeah, do you remember?
No.
The car.
The car.
The little baby boy.
Oh, dude, that hit hard. I was not expecting that. It's like some of these.
I said that one. I sent a one shot to Katie, and her response was, "I literally had to just stare off into space for a minute."
Because I get a false sense of security, right? Because these one shots, sure, they have angst in them sometimes.
Yeah.
But like,
They're not
that bad. It just hit so hard. Flipping heck, mate! You just
Yeah.
remembered me of that.
You're welcome.
I got to stare off into space.
You guys are gonna have to stare off into space when you read that one too.
Oof.
Coming soon.
Dude, that character is just.
I love him.
Me too.
Him and his boyfriend make me so happy.
Mm.
They're my himbos.
Oh, such tragic himbos.
Yeah. We're gonna theoretically, Katie and I are gonna work on the cover art for that this summer.
Yes. I remember.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll do it. I just don't know when this summer we'll do it.
We'll figure it out. We'll do it at some point.
Yeah.
Somehow. So yeah, that'd be fun.
Nini's like, I like space, so give me it to read.
I like space too, but believe me.
You're getting introductions to the characters on Patreon. I'll shut up about Patreon. It's fine.
I am sad. I have finished my Coca-Cola.
Oh no.
It's
You need
fine.
to get water.
I have water, but water doesn't have caffeine in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm addicted. It's real bad. And it's not like I'm going to be able to not have caffeine in future. Because I get free coffees where I work now.
Oh yeah.
So, you know.
That's very nice.
Mm.
Free coffee for the win.
Free coffee for the win. What do we want to touch on?
Did we go through what people bend? Because I don't think we talked about
Oh no, we didn't.
that
We
yet.
got really distracted.
We got very distracted.
I think it was a point of
But
we wanted to make sure that that it is said that not everyone needs to be a bender to be cool. Look at Ren.
yeah.
Ren is a
yeah.
fantastic
Ren got,
Kyoshi.
I don't remember if I like how I wrote his fight scene, but I wrote a fight scene similar to it in my book, and I liked that one.
Ren was a bit of a badass. He was fantastic. I like that fight scene.
He's a very skilled fighter.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who maybe didn't pick up on that, he is a Kyoshi warrior.
Yes.
I know he talked about living on Kyoshi Island, but I don't know if I said that specifically.
You have him talking to Doc going like, your warriors aren't the same without you.
Yeah.
And you had him talking, like in the flashback, he's wearing a skirt, so you know.
Yeah. So I don't exactly say, oh, he's a Kyoshi warrior, but you can kind of, put two and two together.
You have him wearing a skirt because it's like, yes, he's wearing a skirt because it's traditional Kyoshi warrior attire or something like that, don't you?
Probably, yeah.
Ah! The flipping bug is flying around.
No.
It's me nervous. It's only got.
I have mosquito hawks around here because it's getting close to spring now, and Jasper likes to eat them.
What in the world are mosquito hawks? Am I gonna regret googling this?
Oh, yeah, Google it. They're not mosquitoes. I think they eat mosquitoes, but I might be wrong. We have a lot of them. Because we also have a lot of mosquitoes.
Crane flies.
They have long legs.
Don't like it. As someone with arachnophobia, that did not sit well.
Sorry.
That's fine. Long legs.
I'm just used to seeing them because we have them. We have a lot of them every year for my entire life. So
I mean, we have them as well, but that was just like I was just confronted with a Google page full of pictures, very big.
Oh yeah.
No, they're called. Are they called daddy long legs in English, British English, or is that?
Yeah, well, that's a spider.
That's a spider. Okay, so what are the ones with the wings? So the daddy long legs are the spider. We have them too, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I get confused.
Anyway.
Anyway, yes. So
this is what happens when Katie and I get on a call together.
We don't get to the point, do we?
No, we really don't.
I will say, anyway, I've been staring at Tango's bald head for about an hour now.
Love that.
Because I have our Discord chat open.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. Hi, good night. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome.
Daddy Longlegs, that's what they're called in English. Yup.
So that is the ones with the wings?
That's a spider. No, it's a spider.
Okay.
Daddy Longlegs is the spider.
I'm confused. Daddy Yankee? What? Puerto Rican rapper. Daddy Longlegs. Thank you.
Well, either way, we call those bugs
spiders.
mosquito hawks.
Why did I Google spiders?
In the south.
Not happy, not happy. Heard the name Tango and saw the tags. Hello, Tango. Yes, Tango is here. Tango Tech. Yes, we love it. We love Tango here. We are big fans of Tango Tech.
We love Tango. Yes. I have written many fan fictions about Tango.
You're a Hermitcraft fan? Cool. We here are big Hermitcraft fans, but also live series fans.
Yeah.
If you watch the live series
fans.
And if you look at the pinned comment up top, I've got a new person here. Knight has popped into chat. If you look at the pinned comment on the stream, there is a little fan fiction that my good friend Hawke here has written and that we're having a chat about because it's finished. It's been all uploaded. You can binge the heck out of it. So if you like Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you like live series or Hermitcraft people, then you will like that. I'm sure. It is a good read, and I am biased, but it is a good read. So yes. Bald Tango.
There are many one-shots as well.
There are many one-shots. There's plenty of content. There's plenty of content in this alternate universe, so you will have plenty to do and to read and to see.
Yeah.
You're welcome for filling your weekend with the glory. What I'm saying. What am I saying, Hawke? Honor.
Anyway, I would like to get on to saying the benders.
Yes, okay.
Because we've been trying to do that.
I was just about to start a new tangent, but you know what? Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, we've got Jimmy classified as a non-bender / avatar.
Yes.
Because that makes sense.
Very contradictory. He starts out, he lives like, what, 25 years of his life as a non-bender?
Basically, because he's 26. He's 26. Oh, that's very complicated. That's a thing to get into later. We'll get into the ages in a second. Then Tango is a firebender and develops the ability to redirect lightning after limited life. As you can see, I don't think it's in yours, I think it's in mine, where he redirects the lightning that is meant to hit Jimmy and directs it at the monitors that ends up waking everybody up.
Can I just say, I love that detail in yours where it's like, if you haven't read Your Light in My Eyes and you suddenly see that, that's like an OMG moment. And then Tango's like, a lot has happened, Jimmy. And it's like, okay, that's a loaded sentence. And then like the people who know, the people who have read it, they're like, yes, that is a loaded sentence. You love to see it.
And then you've got Martin, who is an earthbender. So unfortunately, I did want to do an arc where he became a lava bender as well. There wasn't, like, with the way I was writing Your Embers at My Fingertips, there wasn't a moment to put it in. Which is another reason the book is better. Because there's more arcs. There's more opportunities for arcs for characters.
Knight asks,
but that was the original.
A simulation? Yes, they were in a simulation. So like the games, the live series games in this story are simulations that the characters go through. Which are like tests created by the Watchers to test some things about bending, I guess.
Yep.
To put it most simply.
Basically, it was like, you know, trying to get bending to be more powerful or like unlock variations for people who are already benders and unlock bending
in people
who are non-benders. Oh, maybe he learns it after everything's still feeling the fire that he cannot bend anymore. I like that. Maybe Martin unlocks lava bending after everything because of his connection to fire and limited life.
I mean, I think that makes the most sense. Unless you were to like maybe... Obviously, Etho could potentially become a lava bender because he's in the same situation. It's Sword Art.
Yeah.
Kinda, I guess, yeah. But they're forced into the simulations. I don't know if with Sword Art Online you're forced into it. They're basically test subjects with their memories wiped before every single game.
Yeah.
They don't have
it's not a consensual situation.
No. But I guess you could, in theory, Etho's in the same situation where he's an earthbender before and has then fire, but like he's already a metal bender. Don't need to make Etho more OP.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, make Etho even stronger.
Why not?
Might as well. Then you've got Pearl, who's a bloodbender and a healer. She's very powerful. Grian, who is an airbender from the Western Air Temple. Scar is a non-bender. Scott is a waterbender, and I think we ended up deciding that let me check. He unlocked ice bending in third life.
Oh.
We didn't have it before.
Wait, what?
But we decided that on stream. We changed something on stream to make it make sense. Scott unlocked ice bending in third life. Yeah, on one of my streams.
But Hawke, hold on, lore-wise. He's an ice sculptor back home.
He is after. He wasn't before. He was an artsy person, and now he's an ice sculptor.
Oh, okay. He was just artsy, because that's there's all this conflict that he has with his parents because he won't continue the family business. Yeah,
he wants to do a different form of art.
Okay.
And his parents don't approve of that. And then he unlocks ice bending in third life, which persuades them to keep the test with these subjects running.
Oh, okay.
Because it worked. They did what they set out to do with one person. And so when he gets home, that's what he chooses to do is ice bending, ice sculptures.
Okay.
You've got Cleo, who's a firebender. Yeah. Cleo, who's a firebender. Joel, who's a firebender. Lizzie, who is a waterbender healer. Etho, who is a metal bender.
Etho's notes behind him have "Don't reveal Etho's backstory."
Don't reveal the backstory! Exclamation point.
In bold text.
Yep. E-Dubs is a non-bender. Impulse is an earthbender. Ren is a non-bender and a Kyoshi warrior. Big B is an airbender. Mumbo is a non-bender, and Skiz is a non-bender.
There it is. Voila.
So those are all the bendings from the end of the story. Most powerful benders currently in the world. Second place, Avatar Jimmy. First place, Etho. Who is that guy? We couldn't find anything, and he refused to do an interview.
I think Pearl would also be up there. I think Pearl is also pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gotta have that girl.
Very powerful waterbender.
Which of the G's is she? Of the girl boss, Gaslight, Gatekeep.
I think she's girl boss.
She's girl boss. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Was there an instance of Scarlet Pearl? Define Scarlet Pearl. Because,
that when she was insane, because we have some insane moments, but not extremely.
We have a lot of Pearl being misunderstood.
Yeah. We made her misunderstood more than anything else.
Yeah, and she has a support system in Double Life. She's not left on her own. She's got Jimmy and... Flippin' heck, I almost said the L word again. She has Jimmy and Tango. How am I struggling more than you with this?
How are you messing up more than I am?
I love how I wanted to say Jimmy and...
I know, it's like, that's not even the right connection.
Anyway. So we give Pearl some support. But she's still quite a badass.
Yeah.
I love...
Nini's like, I know the names.
Nini knows the L word. It's like that's a swear word, man.
It is, on this stream it is, yeah.
Shush, don't say the word.
And say
it. Yeah. So that's the Benders. And
if anyone wants more in-depth information about a character, we have basic backstories written up.
Yeah, we have the
There is only one that you will not hear about.
But Nini was already typing in ether. But yeah. I tell you, I've been burping this whole time from the flipping Coca-Cola. Flipping carbonation.
Oh, Shadow, hello. Have you come to say hi?
Hey, Shadow. Let's see, let me just...
Everyone give pats for Shadow.
Pats. Pat, pat. Can I pat my microphone? Pat, pat.
Katie gives you pats, Shadow.
Digital pats. We love Shadow. Do we want to talk about the ages? Oh, Hawke.
Sorry, someone followed.
Someone followed.
So what are we talking about?
The age of people and that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. I don't have... Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't write out specific ages for each person like I should have.
Is that important?
I don't think it's that important.
I think we're assuming they're all approximately the same age, right?
Yeah, so basically all of the characters are in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all within like 10 years of each other.
Mm-hmm. Who would be the youngest?
You know, technically 9. The youngest age?
I think technically Pearl is the youngest IRL.
I think so. But I think I have... Okay, for reasons. I think I have Impulse as the youngest.
Oh, okay.
Because if we're doing the thing where... Spoilers. Where Gem ends up older than Impulse, then Impulse needs to be the youngest.
Yes.
So that makes sense, because Gem was 18 when he was kidnapped.
Yep.
So Impulse needs to be like 20 for that to work.
Oh, that just hit me again, mate. I just need a moment. Hold on.
You're welcome.
So, okay, let's explain why this hits so hard. Let's explain why this hits so hard. Because they are in these simulations, their bodies don't age in the years that they are in captivity. Just tell me if I'm saying something wrong, right? I'm so scared I'm going to say something
No, you're right,
wrong.
because the way the Watchers kind of have it set up is when they're not in the simulation, they're in stasis until they're being taken out to essentially be experimented on in the table room. So they're only aging during the time that they're in the real world. And then when they're in the simulation, spirits are like their spirits are in hold, like they're not aging.
Yeah. And then that means
so at the end of it, Gem is about 5 years older than Impulse, and Gem was his baby sister before.
That hurts so hard.
Yeah. That's the next one shot I'm doing.
Please write that. Oh my gosh.
I've been wanting to, and I've seen that you've been like voting on that one every poll, and it only
whenever
it didn't even win, it tied, and I was like, well, I want to write this one, so I'm gonna write it.
Do it. I want those too.
That's my next stream, is writing that one shot.
Gosh.
So you'll want to stay tuned for that.
Yes. Make sure you follow and have notifications on for Hawke's channel there.
Yeah.
I can't get over
I
that.
probably won't be streaming on Monday because I have a feeling my body's gonna crash after this. But I will try to stream sometime next week.
My heart. That hits so... You have no idea how hard... That hits almost harder than the fact that they have each had a funeral for them.
Yeah.
With an empty coffin.
Yeah.
Because that's also something that hit really unexpectedly hard. Oh.
Katie read that. I wrote that, and Katie read that, and she was like, Hawke. How could you?
Ouch. Oh, man.
Nini asks, would B-dubs be one of the younger ones? That's a good question. What do you think? I think Etho is one of the older ones, personally.
Okay, I see that.
I think B-dubs might be somewhere in the middle, like maybe 24 or 25, maybe. I see Etho as like 28, personally.
My kind of perspective on this is that I personally would see Jimmy as one of the younger ones, but he's 26.
Yeah, and that's the only age that I actually wrote, so we can't change that one.
Maybe
I did that because he's actually 26. When I was writing this, he was actually 26.
He's only a couple years older than me. I feel so old. I have achieved nothing in my life, Hawke. No time for
going to
existential
university.
Like I said, I've achieved nothing in my life, Hawke. Yeah. Dude worked as a teacher for a couple years before YouTube. How early did he start working? Hold on. Just finished the last chapter of YEAMF. It was insanely good. Props to you two. I only wrote Your Light in My Eyes. All of Your Embers at My Fingertips is Hawke.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you,
I wrote that.
Stratolera? I can read. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are having the wrap-up stream and the talks about it. So all the implications. To me, Tango is older than Jimmy.
Yeah.
I feel like Skiz is also one of the older ones. Maybe. And this is something.
Yeah, I'd see Skiz as like maybe like around the same age as Jimmy, maybe a few months older. That's just me.
Yeah, Hawke has the last
say.
say.
It's just me. I'm the author.
Yeah, exactly. Hawke has all last say in this. If I have an opinion on something, it's worth nothing if you have a different one, Hawke. So just having that.
Yeah,
said,
I am creator of this world. My blood, sweat, and tears went into this.
Considering Scott is still very connected to his parents, maybe he's one of the younger ones.
I think he's younger, yeah.
Oh,
I think Pearl is probably like middle of the pack, maybe.
I think Martin's might be one of the younger ones as well.
Grian's younger, because Grian was like I think I had him be like 19 or something in his one shot. So this takes place like maybe a couple of years after that.
Okay.
So he's like maybe 21. The reason I had him be so young is he needed to be impressionable.
Yeah.
To join the Watchers so easily without any information.
Yeah, agreed.
Which means that Mumbo and Scar are probably also younger.
Yeah, Mumbo for sure. Scar's
probably like a couple years older than them.
I guess it doesn't really have a huge influence. Sure, there is a huge difference age-wise if you're 21 versus 29.
Yeah.
And like how you understand. Like, yeah.
You know what's really sad? All of their friends are 7 years older than them.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, Zedaf.
Yeah, that was my thought. Zed and Doc are now.
I can imagine Doc was older than Ren anyway, right? He's already got a kid.
Oh, probably. I also think Ren was one of the older ones. Like, if he was leader of the Warriors, he's probably been in the Warriors for a long time.
Touche. Oh, Zedaf, he started studying with Tango.
Now he's going back 7 years.
Yikes.
7 years older.
Is he finishing his studies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he dropped out after Tango disappeared. He spent all his energy trying to find Tango.
Man. You know, I still think Gem and Impulse hit the hardest because she's
yeah, because they're siblings. Yeah. Like, I have a little sister, and if I came back from whatever and she was like 5 years older than me, I think I would probably like cry.
Yeah. That hits so hard. I've got a little brother. If he was son, dude.
Yeah.
5 years older than me, that would be. How old am I? Gosh, yeah, dude.
How old am I?
I'm finding it so difficult. Dude, because I have a friend of mine that is 5 years older than me, and I kind of consider him like a big brother. But having my own brother fill those shoes, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hardest, most definitely. Man.
Yeah, like just imagine your little sibling is now your big sibling. Like, wow, the dynamic changes so much.
And also, like, Gem's gone through 7 years of trying to of like growth, of pain, of trying to find her brother. Yikes. Hiya, G-Hoff. Welcome, my dude.
I will say, even though Gem goes back to the listeners and Impulse goes to the Fire Nation capital to study at university, they do talk like every day.
Oh yeah.
Like once they have the connectificator, they talk every day.
Yeah. As soon as it
and
gets
before
portable,
that, like they send letters and stuff.
As soon as the connectificator gets portable, Impulse is just like. He's always sad when Gem goes on a mission and they can't chat as much because that would be a liability.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't think I still haven't recovered from Gem being older than Impulse because that just does not compute for me.
Yeah. That's gonna be an interesting one shot.
I really look forward
Not sure
to that.
exactly how I'm gonna handle it, but it's gonna be very angsty.
I think there's a lot that just needs to be left unsaid. If that makes sense. Oh man, bless them. Because I know this doesn't necessarily make sense because usually you've kind of finished growing when you hit your 20s. But I just imagine being like Gem being taller than Impulse. And like but before she wasn't. Oh. No, don't like it.
Well, either way, she looks older because you know she was 18 and now she's like 25.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pain.
But yeah, it was like we were trying to figure out the ages, and I was like, I don't want them to end up being in their 30s at the end of this. And it was like, plot hole, shove the spirits in it.
Yes, we've been doing that a lot. So, do we want to move on to the spirits?
Yeah, we can do that.
I noticed when I was
writing... It ties into Skiz's section of chapter 20, actually.
Definitely. There's a lot to mention about Skiz and his background that is kind of like bless him, bless his cotton socks, man. I feel so bad for all the characters, dude. You have Yep. Yep. But basically
summarizes that thought.
yeah. You have yes. I noticed when I was writing, so basically when I started posting Your Light in My Eyes, I finished writing about a month before. Because like I started posting it after exams were over for me, or mostly. So I didn't really have time to write. But I noticed when I started posting it that there were a couple of comments kind of going like, oh, I wonder what happens with this, or how this gets resolved. And I'm like, it doesn't. Yeah. Oops. Maybe I should figure that out. And so in the end, and I did admit this in the story, I kind of added another chapter, which kind of finished up, because I had the boogeyman plotline in mind, and how that was kind of connected to certain things, because we wanted explanations for everything. And so basically that plot hole with how especially Skiz is connected to the boogeyman. Because I like the general fandom idea of Skiz kind of like being the father of the boogeyman. At the end of Third Life. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Secret Life puts a real wrench in that, doesn't it? Or does it? Because in every series that Skiz has been in, so Last Life and Limited Life then, had a boogeyman.
Well, there was still the boogeyman in Secret Life.
Yeah, that's the question. Like,
I count that.
Okay, you could
you know a way to explain it. You know, it would be a fun way to explain it.
Yeah.
The Watchers were trying to get rid of it, but because Skiz was there, it still managed to seep in for one session.
There's the question. Like, remember when he followed Gem around the first session as his secret task?
Mm-hmm.
What if then it latched onto her and lay dormant for a couple sessions?
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
I think it would have been really cool if Skiz hadn't become the boogeyman in that.
Yeah, it would have been better if
because
Skiz
like
had become the boogeyman.
Because we have Cleo and Grian who survived, and they have yet to be the boogeyman ever. And you have Scott who survived, who was the only one to ever resist the boogeyman curse.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was pretty cool in Secret Life. And it would have worked so much. It would have been flawless if Skiz had also survived. But if you're thinking he's the father of the boogeyman, you can kind of think like, oh, he was the very first boogeyman. He was the boogeyman back in Third Life when he was his Red Life.
Mm-hmm.
So you could argue it like that. But that's like a kind of like a little headcanon detail that I like. But yes, the spirits. It was basically...
We actually have... we did a whole thing for Skiz being the father of the boogeyman in this AU, which... Munching on a breakfast bar, so I'll let Katie start that off.
Darn it, I'm munching on some granola, but that's fine. I'll just start.
Sorry.
I think for both of us, it's getting the time for a meal, so we're kind of like just thinking it off by having snacks, but that's fine.
It's like noon for me, so it's about time.
It's 7 p.m. for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. We're just snacking while we're talking. But basically, I had the plot hole of like I had no resolution for the boogeyman. Hawke and I, we had an idea. We knew exactly what the boogeyman was, but we didn't have anywhere where we wrote it. So the whole idea with the boogeyman is that Skiz has this strong connection to the spirit realm, and obviously he's got these friends in the spirit realm. He's got his uncle in the spirit realm. They obviously wonder, where has Skiz gone? We can't connect to his spirit anymore for so goodness knows how many years. So they obviously go looking for him, and they have more power in them. They have kind of like more abilities than just your average mortal in the listeners. So they find Skiz and the others, but they're more focused on Skiz, to fairly early on, I'm assuming. And then kind of the rest of their energy is put into trying to connect to Skiz or anyone else that could help them. I can imagine the Watchers maybe put up like some sort of spiritual barriers, which is why Mumbo, for instance, couldn't connect to Grian in Limited Life. And why Skiz couldn't enter the spirit realm while in a simulation as well. So there is kind of like blockages going on there, some spiritual blockings. And the spirits, like bit by bit, are able to break through, and they latch onto Skiz. or specifically Bubbles, right? Because there's different spirits. He's got different friends. One of them is a warden.
Yep.
It's a very special warden.
Yep.
But the way Bubbles does it, and if you haven't read the story, Bubbles is kind of like a void rabbit with kind of like skulky ears. Like I have it so that the spirits are connected to Skulk, which is why the warden is a spirit as well. And they're obviously being, don't necessarily have all this Skulk in the spirit realm, but it's basically a way maybe to have a hold on the world. They have to surround themselves with this Skulk. Maybe, I don't know. It's a lot of interpretation.
And some of the spirits are more violent than others. Like the warden is a more violent spirit. They're Skiz's friend, but that doesn't mean that they're completely peaceful.
Yeah.
Which is why they run off and the warden perceives Scar as Jimmy's enemy. And the warden was in Double Life searching for the Avatar to help.
Yeah.
And so when they perceived Scar as Jimmy's enemy, they went and killed Scar.
So yeah, the different spirits are kind of like, I'm assuming they're not very organized. They're just trying their own ways to help Skiz out of the situation. Bubbles connects himself to Skiz. And that's kind of like inadvertently creating the boogeyman, because Bubbles connects to Skiz but can't actually get through to Skiz. So they try to connect to different players. But then the Watchers are like, they know that Bubbles is in the game, but they don't want Bubbles to kind of reveal any information to the players because their memories are blocked in Last Life, right? So they're like, right, we're just gonna cloud this person with unavoidable bloodlust so that they don't listen to this spirit trying to talk to them, or they think they're going insane if there is some sort of spirit trying to talk to them, right? So the actual bloodlust comes from the Watchers. Am I correct in remembering that?
Yeah. That's what we talked about.
So yes, that's the Bubbles is not. If you saw Bubbles, that was a kind of like thing. Like I wrote the chapter and I was like, I have had Bubbles for a day and a half, and if anything happened to them, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Yep. We love
Bubbles. We do. But Bubbles is not violent.
Bubbles is in chapter 20, if you notice the rabbit with star eyes.
Yeah. Obviously, Jimmy didn't meet Bubbles, so wouldn't be able to. We're seeing that chapter out of Jimmy's perspective. Maybe he heard about Bubbles from Tango, but whether they'd had that conversation, I don't know. I can imagine when Tango is ready, like mentally, where it doesn't way too hard, he does eventually tell Jimmy everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And bit by bit, like no more secrets.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody who read that chapter saw what Tango was like when he first woke up. Like, what happened in limited life took an incredible toll on his mind and body. It took him a while to recover.
Yeah, and the whole idea is like whoever's like low on time, so you've got Skiz, you've got Scar, that survival instinct starts kicking in. They're actually close to dying. That takes a bigger mental toll the closer you are to death. And then specifically for Tango, because I think he was one of the people on highest time, right?
Yeah.
Because he was last to go.
But he was also the Avatar, and that took a different kind of toll on him.
That took a huge mental toll.
Yeah.
Because we said at the beginning of the stream, he does not want that responsibility. He never had that calling. He doesn't want those expectations of others on him. And you can see how in Your Light in My Eyes that he's not prepared for that. That does not sit well with him. And then just time and time again, that expectation is thrust upon him. Like, when are you going to enter the Avatar state? Are you going to save us? Jimmy is dead. He can't help us. You have to help us. It's like,
yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot, because I don't want to make any of the players kind of like a villain in this, but in some senses they are also desperate. You're gonna have to think it from other people's perspectives, because I kind of wrote B-Dubs as a bit of a villain in Your Light, but he's just kind of desperate to get out. And sometimes,
well, to be fair, you also kind of wrote Martin as a villain.
Yeah, as well.
With how he was acting, but he was also desperate, and so it was coming across wrong.
And it was just, yeah, like you've got all these characters with their wants and their desperate needs, and they all have a common goal to get out. They just maybe lose a bit of their empathy in that moment of desperation, in that time of desperation. Yeah. And so, yeah, I just want to stress that none of them were intended to kind of be villains. The villains are the Watchers, obviously.
Yeah, that's something I want to say for Your Embers at my fingertips too. Like, I wrote Scott and Cleo as, villainesque characters in Double Life, and that's why we had them not be villains in Your Light in my eyes. Like, that was intentional, that the two of them had moments where they were allies to Tango in a certain sense, because we wanted to emphasize that none of the players are the bad guy. None of them are villains. They're all just desperate and trying to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, they didn't have their memories in Double Life, so Scott and Cleo didn't know. Like, Scott didn't remember being close with Jimmy and Pearl.
Yeah.
Cleo didn't remember being close with Pearl. Like, none of them had any recollection of that.
Sorry, the bug is flying at me.
You good?
No, hold on.
Do you have a fly swatter?
No. The thing's like the size of my thumb. I don't know where it's gone. It's on my desk.
Katie's struggling.
It's on my desk. I am going to try and squash it with my thing. It's a stink bug. I don't want to squash it. It's going to stink. Bugger off. Mate, I legitimately want to help you out here. I'd let you out if I had an empty glass. You were having a real rough time. Hawke, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get a glass and I'm going to do this properly so that I'm not anxious and nervous about this guy being on my desk. Be right back, guys.
Okay. All right, chap. I don't want to go into too much more stuff without Katie, but I can talk about some of the one shots, I guess. I write one shots twice a week most of the time on stream, and I upload them. And I also do polls on my Instagram, so you can vote on what one shots you want. And there are, I think, 11 one shots posted, or 12, or maybe 10 one shots. I don't know. There's several one shots posted, and we have fun with them. And I try to do ones about different characters. Try not to repeat characters too much, but we have a lot about Pearl. We love Pearl. And yeah, so you can get a lot more information. If you like this story a lot, then that is the thing for you, because you can get more information about the world and the characters. And now that the story's done, we can do one-shots for what I call the after, which, takes place after the story's over. So sometimes you get to see what happens with Jimmy and Tango, and sometimes you get to see what happens with Scott and Cleo. It just depends on what we're doing. We have one lined up for Impulse and Jem that Katie and I were talking about, where they get reunited and Impulse realizes that Jem is now his big sister, not his little sister. And that becomes an interesting dynamic. So that's the next one that we're writing. I usually stream on Mondays and Saturdays. I don't know if I'm going to stream on Monday, but I want to do a Patreon stream this week. Maybe on Wednesday, I'm thinking. where I do stuff with my book. So we'll be writing, I think we'll be writing a one shot for my book on Patreon this week. That's my plan because I do that monthly. And you can see those at any tier, and the tiers are $1, $3, and $5. And you can see all the, all the things that you can get with those. Obviously, if you don't have the finances to do that, I don't want to pressure you into doing that, but you can get a lot more information about my book that way. And so I'll end up talking a lot more about my book on those streams. I do those once a month. I also do writing advice blogs and one shots for the characters. And if you subscribe at the highest tier, then you get sneak peeks from the book. So we have a lot of fun stuff over there. Obviously, if you're not able to, don't feel pressured to do so. But that's kind of my thought. But I want to do the Impulse and Gem stream. So if I don't do that on Monday, that'll happen next Saturday. We'll be writing that at the time that we started today at 10 a.m. CST. That's when we'll be writing that. And then that'll get uploaded on AO3 Sunday morning, at least morning for me, around the same time that the Your Embers at My Fingertips chapters got posted. That's when those one shots get posted. So you can see those too and get more information about. Hello. I was just talking about the one shots.
Let's go. That's cool. Dude, I am so packed and ready to move out that I couldn't find paper. That is how.
Oh, no.
As someone who has like 50 sketchbooks with her, this is never exaggerated.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find any of them.
Oh,
I actually think they're already in the car to go tomorrow. So, oops. I had to literally grab some post. Yes, I did. I had to grab some post and like plonk the stink bug on the post. And then it immediately wanted to fly back in. I'm like, dude, no.
Absolutely not.
Yes, we had a little fight. But yeah, anyway, I'm back. And I am far more calm than I have been off stream. Because goodness me, I've been watching that thing climb up to the ceiling about 3 times and then fall back down again.
Oh, no.
So, phew, that's a relief. Anyway, where were we?
I don't remember.
I mean, I have the spirits up on my screen. Did we finish talking about what we were done with that?
I think we wrapped up that. I don't think there was anything more to say about that.
Cool. I mean, the next pointer is the avatar spirit.
Well, you didn't talk about the point above it.
Ah.
Well, we've kind of been talking about that. No, we've talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Watchers, listeners.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
Watchers, listeners? Point above that.
Yeah.
Oh, that
was
point.
The point above it. Yeah, I think we've talked about that enough.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
we have like 1 point on the watchers and 1 point on the listeners, and the watchers point is the watchers have been created because bending is dying out. I don't know if we've necessarily mentioned that bending is dying out.
I think I said that. I don't know if we actually like made a point on it, but that's why the watchers were created.
And that's kind of like how Green was convinced, like, look, we're doing great things, we can make bending happen. And they've obviously had results, like Scott can ice bend, Tanga can redirect lightning through everything. I mean, that wasn't due to the watchers, but they'll take that win on their own accords. Who cares that Lizzie taught him how to do that?
Yeah.
So
it happened in our simulation, so obviously it's because of us.
Exactly. Success in our test. I mean, originally when Jimmy started bending fire, the voices were elated. I think you were right. Mm-hmm. Because that's a success in their
They thought that they had succeeded. They didn't realize that he was the avatar. They didn't appreciate the development as much when they realized that he was the avatar.
Exactly. So at first they're like, oh my gosh, we got a non-bender to bend fire. That is a huge success story.
Yeah.
But yes, no, they just unlocked the chi in Jimmy.
Well, they didn't even do that. That was Tango.
Yeah, but they're gonna say that they did that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They're gonna take full, like, we connected him to
Yeah.
Tango.
Obviously, yeah.
It's only when his
Obviously, it was
soulmate's
because
on
of
fire
this.
and he's in imminent danger. Obviously, that's the only time that you can unlock bending.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
And then the listeners, you know, we kind of talked about that in the story, where the listeners were created by Stampy as a counter to the Watchers, and that happened several centuries after Aeor.
Yeah.
Like, that was several avatars down the line. So I had a comment that was like, you know, Jimmy should face off with Zornoth. It's like, Zornoth is dead. Zornoth is long gone.
Yeah.
If anyone's gonna fight Zornoth, it's gonna be Shelby.
Yes, go for it, girl. Yeah.
Yeah, the listeners, like, that story kind of got talked about in Your Embers at My Fingertips, so that...
I don't know if there's anything else for us to add as well.
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much them.
I like the idea of Pearl and Gem becoming bestie crime fighters.
Murder Camel.
Sorry?
Murder Camel.
Yes. Gem's an earthbender, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like her big little brother. Yeah.
And she's like, once they're over all the trauma and everything, she's gonna be the one patting on his head like, yes, little bro. And he's gonna be like, yeah, I used to be the older one.
Yeah. I used to give you head pats. Now you're taller than me.
Well, that was gonna happen anyway, if that was the case.
Yeah.
They're gonna both stop growing at some point. I got granola in my throat, hold on.
Oh no. Shadow's just staring at me. What are you staring at me for? With your ear flopped over. She's got one ear that just flops over when she points them up.
You can see it in the art. The floppy ear.
Yeah. She's such a happy puppo. And Jasper's like, please, I do not want to be here anymore.
That is Mylan when you pick him up. There's like the most insulted when you pick up Mylan. It's like, no, you've insulted his entire lineage.
Jasper is so tolerant. Like, you know that, I don't know, you don't have TikTok, so you wouldn't have seen this. There's a thing that people used to do on TikTok where they picked their cat up and like dangled them and moved them around, like shaked them or shook them. And I can do that to Jasper and he doesn't care.
Mamma mia. Nope, absolutely not.
He's such a tolerant cat. But he's only tolerant for me. He doesn't let anybody else do that.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Well, I've had him for like 6 years, so I would hope so.
I wouldn't dare do that with my cats. They're too old, bless them. I think I could used to be able.
Definitely.
I would have been able to years back do that with Digby. Because he's the kind of cat, like, when he wasn't as frail as he is, he would just... He's the definition of liquid, as some cats are. And he would just snuggle into you in the most uncomfortable looking positions, but he'd be happy purring. I've had the dude cuddle under my hoodie before and then poke his head out the top.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Anyway, tangents.
Yeah.
We were once again on another one of them.
As always.
As always, yes. The Avatar Spirit. I think this is an important point because a lot of people were theorizing about what Tango being the Avatar meant. Wow, I'm speaking German. In Limited Life?
There were some people wondering if Tango was going to retain any powers or like have part of the Avatar Spirit in him at like after Limited Life. But no, they're...
I think they're cool ideas.
Hi Nini, hi T-Dubs. How's it going?
I think they're really cool ideas.
Yeah, oh no, it's a very cool idea. I just don't think it fits for him to have retained any of the Avatar spirit, not for my story anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jimmy being able to like unlock his Avatar abilities with Tango's support
mm-hmm.
it's just unconditional support.
Mm-hmm.
Like having that without any judgment or anything like that ended up unlocking something in Jimmy. Also the physical like spiritual connection that they had in Double Life.
Yeah.
That ended up unlocking his chi.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually talking about that, Hix's chi was blocked when he was killed, like right before he was killed. So when Jimmy was born, he was born chi blocked and didn't have any, bending powers
mm-hmm.
until Double Life when he was connected to Tango.
Mm-hmm.
And that ended up unlocking that. And side note, because yes, Scott was, gave Jimmy unconditional support in
Third Life.
In Third Life, yeah, the reason that didn't unlock it is because of the lack of the connection that he and Tango had physically. Like
mm-hmm.
the soul-bound connection is what unlocked it. And Scott and Jimmy didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. They had a really deep connection. Obviously, husbands, flower husbands. Not that they actually got married kind of thing, but did they? I don't know. I don't want to assume. But like, yeah, that's there is this physical, like you say, they share a health bar, and that kind of intertwines their spirits because you've kind of got these tests. You have this fantasy, but also kind of sci-fi world with the simulations, right? And you kind of have to balance of they have this spiritual, like their spiritual energy is a huge thing. Like watch Legend of Korra, it's a huge power source. It's blending a lot of sci-fi and fantasy together in that sense. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that's kind of like where the connection goes, is that the spirits have this physical thing that you can experiment around with and turn into sci-fi stuff, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
so it's that kind of thing. It's their spirits being connected through the test that unlocks it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had been, theoretically, if he had been soulbound to Scott and they had that same connection that they had in Third Life, that could have also unlocked it.
Yeah.
But we won't know because that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy being well, that's also the question, right? Because Jimmy is a firebending avatar, right?
Yeah.
And so the first element that usually avatars bend is the element of where they're from.
Yeah.
Right? And then, like, funnily enough, in a specific Reihenfolge, man, my brain's on German for some reason suddenly. It's like order. They unlock other elements, which I find is really interesting because you saw that with Aang, where he first had airbending, of course, and then he had waterbending, then he had earthbending, then he had firebending, right? I think he firebent before learning earthbending, technically, but we're just going to ignore that for now. And that's kind of like in the order that the avatar cycle goes in, right? Because the next avatar is Korra, a waterbending avatar. She then learns, it's not specifically stated, but she then, I'm assuming, learns earth, then fire, and then right at the end, air. And that's also following the avatar cycle. And then you've got Jimmy, a firebending avatar, so first learning fire. And it's also because he's from the Fire Nation, like Pix was a earthbending avatar, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And Dan before that, waterbender, and Stampy before that, airbender. Jimmy's a firebending avatar, and he first learns airbending, then waterbending, then earthbending, which also follows the avatar cycle. Yeah. And I thought that was awesome.
That was unintentional.
I know. I know. At some point, I just text Hawke when I had this realization halfway through writing Your Light. And I was just like, Hawke, did you realize? Yes, the avatar is supposed to learn the elements in the cycle order. Well, there we go, Hawke. Thank you, Nini, for that. Thank you, Nini, for that info. Like, that's it. Hawke, we are unintentionally very canon.
Yeah. It was, I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, it was accidental. Yeah, it was accidental, Nini.
And that
was not intentional.
And I will say also, like, with Tango learning the elements, obviously he had fire at first. It was also kind of, I mean, I had him then do the airbending because I was like in my brain, I don't want Skiz to fall from Skynet. I kind of wanted to follow canon up until that point. Then I was like, no, he catches Skiz.
Yeah.
With airbending, right? I mean, he could have done it with waterbending, I guess. But I feel like airbending is far more, because waterbending, you got to drag it up from the ocean and then...
yeah.
And so, yeah, you got airbending, then waterbending, then earthbending. And the earthbending had to be the Tango Povo. Also, this is something that I didn't actually ever mention in the story, but absolutely something that happened behind the scenes. And I'm so sad that I didn't ever write this anywhere or mention it. As soon as Tango masters masters quote unquote, as soon as Tango gets proficient in earthbending, he bends the tower straight.
Yeah.
He bends the tower to be symmetrical.
He fixes the tower.
Yep. Hold on, what do my notes exactly say to this? Because I had this in my notes.
I'm gonna bring Shadow's bed closer. Give me a second.
You do that. So my notes say precisely, Tango figures out he can earthbend when running away from the yellows. And then all in caps, when Tango figures it out, he goes to Skiz and is like, hey, look, fixes crooked tower. So, yes.
It really is like, you've been streaming too long. Go get out of here.
Yeah, are we doing all right? I think we can slowly maybe kind of, wind down a bit. See if there's any more questions that people have on specific story beats.
Yeah.
I think...
Because I kind of... Like, the next thing that we have lined up is where everybody ends up afterwards, and we kind of know that that happened in chapter 20. You just have to read chapter 20. And if you want to know detailed thoughts about the ending, I did an entire stream where maybe for the first half hour I was writing, and then I was like, well, let's just read chapter 20. And so I read chapter 20, and bit by bit I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So if you want stuff about wrapping that up, that's on my YouTube channel.
There you go. I'm just currently going, because basically, guys, after the point we have after that, where everyone ends up afterwards, is literally the individual story beats, which we won't have time for today. But the story beats connecting to thoughts that we have after that.
Yeah, I think that could be a separate stream. We do a second part.
I guess we could
I think that's a good thing to do for its own stream, because that could take a while.
That could take a while.
We've already been going for almost 3 hours.
But the thing is, we have a lot of the okay, there are some story points, for instance, when Grian is when Jimmy's trying to convince Grian to join them. What are his perspectives on that, and generally side characters' perspectives and their thoughts in certain situations? Because I always fascinated to hear about that or to think about that.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of stuff that we can definitely. Sorry, I've just read a message saying Skiz is just such a guy. It's just a note going, Skiz, he's just such a guy. What was I talking about? I completely caught me off guard. I think it's fascinating seeing side characters, because they're not just numb puppets that don't do anything. They have their own thoughts and their own motives and reasons for doing things. And
the best background characters are complex characters.
Yes, yeah. And I kind of...
They're doing their own thing that can affect the main character story. Don't make them flat, make them interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have all these characters, like, it's really difficult because there are at least 14 characters to sometimes think about what are they doing in one go.
Yeah.
Which is difficult.
Nini's like, I thought about how you ended up writing in the circle, learning the elements, and I decided the lion turtles guided you.
Yes.
I was inspired by the lion turtles.
Love that. But yeah, they all have their reason for doing things, their backgrounds, their thoughts.
Yeah.
And yes. But I think that is something that we can go into if we feel like we fancy doing another stream about this, another director's commentary, kind of properly going through the story beats and like our very detailed thoughts. Let us know if that's something that you guys be interested in.
Yeah, if that's something that you guys would like to see, let us know, and we'll try to set up another time to stream that.
But yeah, I think I'm kind of scrolling.
There is a question that I do want to answer that I got from somebody, I don't remember who. But it was, what did the players experience after losing their final life? And the answer is an empty darkness void where they are awake.
Oof.
They're just in a void.
On their own?
For the entire time that they're in stasis.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that for a second.
How...
I'm a mean person.
Dude, that has so many implications though. They'd go crazy in that isolation, wouldn't they?
Probably, yeah.
You kind of need to consider what that would do to them mentally, and then think about what effect that has then on them outside of that void, right?
That's true.
Because if they spend years in this void, in the nothingness, no...
Well, it wouldn't be years.
Just, well, longer periods of time that sum up to years, don't they?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe it's not a darkness. Maybe it is like a land expanse, but they're by themselves.
That would also really hit on you mentally if you're on your own.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, consider the implications of that.
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of isolation, that would weigh heavily on people, and they've already got a lot of trauma.
Well, we can keep the idea of an empty darkness or a void, but they're more like asleep.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you get put under for like a surgery.
Sure. I don't know what that's
like. Something like
sure.
that. You don't know? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't in conscious memory have had any surgeries.
Okay. It's essentially, it's just like you're asleep.
Okay. I think that. Yeah. Again, I don't want to. As always, this is me just saying this is my thoughts on the matter, and there's kind of implications that one needs to consider.
Yeah.
If one were to.
That is true. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. Yeah, so essentially they're asleep during the time that they die to being taken out of stasis.
That also kind of like connects to their ages, because if they were kind of quote unquote awake for all those 7 years, they'd obviously be mentally older. I mean, obviously they've mentally gone through so much. Like there's a lot of stuff to unwrap there. They're not the same people they were when they came in, obviously. But
yeah.
Then you kind of like have their bodies being frozen in time, but still their minds live on for those 7 years in one form or another. But if their mind's also kind of frozen in time, if they're asleep, that kind of has that connection to the body as well.
Yeah.
Oof. I still haven't gotten over Gem and Impulse. Dude, please write that story. Mate. I can't.
Yeah. That's going to be an interesting one to write.
Hey, if you need any kind of like thoughts, then I'm happy to share my 2 dimes.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind when I start planning it out.
You'll have to give me a time, obviously, a while to answer because lots happening in this
Yeah.
But yeah. I think.
Well,
I think
if we're wrapping up, we have one thing left.
Special thing.
Before we want to wrap up. I am going to share the prologue of my book.
Let's go.
Which Katie has seen. It was rewritten twice to make it better, and it is now better.
Are we revealing the book name? The story name?
I've already revealed the book name. I've talked about it before. I'm gonna record this section so I can upload it as a separate video.
I'm going to sit back, relax, and mute up so that I can munch on my granola, if that's all right.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's all sit here together and enjoy Hawke reading the prologue to. Can I say the name?
Yes.
The prologue to Your Embers. Not your embers at my fingertips, just your embers.
It's just your embers.
Which is why having your embers at my fingertips was an important. We had to always say that full name.
Yeah.
Otherwise it got confusing.
That's why we were calling Katie's your light, but we were calling mine your embers at my fingertips.
Yep.
We needed the distinction.
Definitely. Anyway, I'm gonna mute up and eat some popcorn or granola like popcorn. You read away, my friend.
Okay. So let's get into the prologue. Signaling to the others to follow but remain silent, Pitnell drops from the tunnel into the deserted compound, landing with a soft thud. He summons a ball of fire to his palm, the rings of tattooed flames licking along his wrists glowing in the light. Boots stir up dust as the 13 searchers look at their unsettling environment. The only light in the area is from the 3 flames held by their comrades with fire. Nin steps closer to Pitnell, murmuring, "I feel something off about this, Pit. This isn't right." Hillen joins them, frowning and brows furrowed. "I agree. The air here, it's sparkling with an unnatural energy. Do you see it?" Pitnell hones in on the energy, the tattooed sparkling of electricity along his throat visible in the flickering of his light. Suddenly, he sees what Hillen meant. Purple energy darts about the air all around them, sparking together to grow and shift periodically. It dances to and fro in front of Pitnell's eyes. There definitely is something off about this. Crouching down to rest on one knee, Pitnell places his hand on the floor and sends his energy out to search for any life forces remaining in the compound, or any focus of this sparkling energy. What comes back to him sends a shock up his arm. Over 3 dozen viewer soldiers are lying in wait just beyond their vision on either side of the hallway. Pitnell shoots up and shouts, "It's an ambush!" But it's too late. Viewers pour forth from the shadows in droves, shouting blasts of all 6 elements. One of the viewers that engages with Osenna sends a line of sparks at her. Another hits Brooke in the back with a shot of ice. He notices the temperature is growing progressively warmer and warmer. A heater. Many abilities are locked in this fight. Pitnell locks into a fight with 5 viewers donning violet masks concealing their entire faces, wearing black jumpsuits that cover every inch of their bodies. He slides one foot behind the other and narrows his eyes. Sucking in a deep breath, he engages by stomping his front foot into the ground and raising his hands into the air. A thick slab of earth shoots from the floor, slams one of the viewers into the ceiling, and sinks back into place, leaving the viewer crumpled on top of it. Another viewer pops open a water skin attached to their hip and flings a sharp line of water at Pitnell. He grabs it and yanks the viewer forward, kicking them harshly in the gut when they're within range. They groan and sink to the floor. A violent gust of wind slams into Pitnell. He digs his feet into the stone and holds his position until it fades. Winding his hands around above him, a gusting tornado sucks the offending viewer up, allowing him to throw them into one of the other 5. They shout and tumble to the ground. Just then, a shocking jolt lands on Pitnell's side. He cries out and falls to his knees, his body trembling. It gives the viewers just enough time to grasp him, holding him fiercely in place. He struggles, glancing around for his allies, but they're all engaged in their own fights. A cold hand grips the back of Pitnell's neck, and a masked face leans into view. Don't worry, Tira. This will only hurt until you give in. The last thing Pitnell sees before feeling the most debilitating, searing pain he has ever been subjected to is a white mask decorated with a violet eye. After that, everything turns white. He's pretty sure he screams, but he can't hear anything over the buzzing in his ears. His mind is picked at and torn apart until the viewer plays out one of the most invasive forms of commanding a person can possibly do: mind touch. When the viewer finally moves their hand away, Pitnell collapses to a limp puddle on the floor, unable to move more than to flop around uselessly. Looking up, the cloaked viewer steps away from the battle like nothing had happened. Pitnell's allies continue to fight for their lives, but it's too overwhelming. Many of them have joined Pitnell on the ground. Whether they're unconscious, too wounded to move, or worse, Pitnell isn't sure. The cloaked viewer declares, "This is over. End it." The ceiling caves in, burying the searchers and several of the viewers in rubble. 126 years later. And there you go. That's the prologue. Obviously, there's still a couple things I can do to make better, but that's what the prologue is.
Yes.
It's a work in progress.
Oh man, it's made me hyped for the story again. Poor Pitnell.
Yeah, I am not a very nice person to my characters. I gotta be honest.
No. Oh, thoughts. Oh man, I can't wait for like more to be revealed about this so that we can have a proper dialogue with other people about it.
Yeah. At this point, I talk to my Oma about it like every day because she's the only person that I can talk to about it.
I know quite a few things, but not as much as I'm guessing you. Well, obviously you, or I'm guessing your Oma does. But it's so cool.
Yeah. Well, it's so much easier for me to talk about it like on a call because then I can like easily ramble about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh man, I'm so
people still don't know the L word.
They still don't know the L word. The L word is very important. But
it is.
You'll
it is
find
very
out.
important.
Well, Nini knows the L word, surely, right?
Yeah. If you go to my Patreon, you will see the L word. But yeah.
There you go. Well, on that bombshell.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. So cool.
It's gonna be great.
In that case, I think it's time to say goodbye. About on the 3-hour mark. 3 hours of talking about this story. I think.
Yeah, and we still got more to go through.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm actually really happy with what we've said. There's always more that can be said.
Yeah, definitely.
And if there's interest to hear more about, like, when we go through the story beat by story beat, and explain like our thoughts and our innermost ideas on what we meant with certain things and like little details that we added, then let us know.
And obviously, if in between now and if we do that stream, if you have thoughts or questions, shoot them at me.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to answer them. Either on stream, or on Instagram, or leave a comment on AO3. I respond to comments on AO3 with more time in between the question and the answer than I do like on stream or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But I do answer every comment I get. So feel free to do that as well.
There you go. But I think it's time for us to say thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for listening to our rambles.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the support on Your Embers at My Fingertips and Your Light in My Eyes. It's been really...
we appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, it's been quite a joy to share this story with the world.
Yeah.
Both sides of it. Yeah. Thank you for your
it's been really great.
theories, your engagement, your your love for the story.
Yeah.
For
Been really
sure.
great to see through all of this.
Yeah. Such a long journey, mate.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, coming to a close because it's all been posted.
But there's more things on the horizon.
Still, Nini still loves Bubbles. Thanks for the bunny ghost. Yeah, Bubbles is adorable. Just think that Bubbles almost didn't exist.
I know. That was a last minute addition.
Yeah, I mean that is only thanks to the comments that I left that people left on Your Light, that I saw.
Yeah.
That's thanks to the community that read through the
Definitely.
stuff. And also, like, from my side, writing isn't ever. It has always been something that I've been really interested in, and obviously art is my main thing, and that's kind of like the main thing that people know me for. But I consider myself first and foremost a storyteller. I love telling stories, and art is just my medium, right? But writing is another medium that I really enjoy, and through this story I've really loved dipping my feet into, and finally kind of finding an appreciation for my own writing, because I was always so very judgmental of my writing before and didn't like it and never got anywhere with it. And this was kind of like the first project that I could actually have a story from start to finish. Obviously it's a story within a story, so it's not a full story. It's also not introducing new characters. It's characters that you already know, concepts you already know, but it's kind of like me dipping my feet into it, and the support that's come from that, and kind of like the encouragement to continue more, is really wonderful.
It was really fun from my perspective as like an established writer, I guess you could say. Seeing how your writing progressed as you continued with the story.
I will say, like yesterday evening, I said to Hawke, and I did not pull through with it, but I said to Hawke, I'm going to read Your Light again so that I have it present in my brain. I only got about halfway through, but flippin' heck, can you please make me not write the word seem? As in, like, it seems to be?
Yeah, I know. It's like you always have that one word.
Because that is like...
Every writer has that one word.
I had that. I struggled through the first chapter, and I remember editing that chapter and cutting out a whole bunch of seams. Like, when I was editing that, like, every time that I saw a seams, I changed it. But I missed so many.
Yeah.
Unless I didn't upload the edited version, I don't know, but I missed so many seams, and like sometimes 2 times in the same paragraph, and then in the next paragraph there's another seams, and I'm just like, what the heck, woman?
Yeah.
That is
You'll get better at that.
Yikes. Just stop me. I should basically, if I ever write anything from, this is something that I shouldn't like kind of say to myself now, if I ever write anything in the future, look for the word seams or seam and just replace it with something else, rewrite it. Just not have that anywhere, because that is just a bad word anyway. You shouldn't have that anywhere. Show don't tell.
Yeah, mine is just. I say just a lot.
Okay.
And I've gotten better at not using that as often in my writing. But it takes a while to like be able to recognize it as you're writing it. Go, no, that doesn't need to be here.
Yeah. But that was just, I just wanted to say, like, thank you guys so much for the support, because especially from someone who, I was posting a lot about this online, kind of like, hey, and I was talking a lot about it, and I'm assuming some people are so, like, they're so no longer interested, and they're, like, sick of me talking about it. But I appreciate the people who aren't just here for my art, but are also interested in other projects that I do. And that's really nice. That's really nice to know that there are people out there that won't just hang out if I only make life series animatics kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really encouraging. So that's a little thank you from my side.
And this was like my first big fan fiction. Like, this was the first fan fiction book that I ever wrote. I'd only ever done like fan fiction one-shots before, so this was fun for me to be able to post as well, just like, you know, build that up, and like we made a little community from it, you know. with this story, and I really appreciate that. And it inspired me to do something even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited to get to share Your Embers with everybody.
There's much on the horizon.
It's bigger, it's better, and it's brighter, and it's gonna be great.
Is it brighter though?
No.
Do the characters have an easier time?
No, they have a worse time, actually.
Mm-hmm.
As is common with Hawke stories.
Yep. Hawke came to me, or like in our conversations before streams, said to me at some point, like, you know Martin's backstory and how terrible that is? Yeah, this character has a worse backstory.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Would you agree, Nini? Would you agree that character has a worse backstory than Morton?
Would Nini
with
know
the information that you have? I've posted that one shot.
But know which one you're referencing.
Well, it's the one that got posted Friday or yesterday. But it's okay. They have a worse backstory, trust me.
Be prepared mentally for when you read that.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's so much about Your Embers that's like, be prepared for incredible angst, but also amazing fight scenes, because I like fight scenes now, and it's great. But, yeah. I can't wait for you to read it. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm. Yes. My problem is with like writing and reading. Like, to be a good writer, you probably need to have read quite a lot, I'm assuming, right?
I don't read anymore.
No? I don't know.
I can't do it.
You can't. Okay.
I used to read a lot, to be fair. I used to read a lot.
I never had that phase in my life where I read a lot. And I do wonder whether that's like totally hindering my journey, but I'm like, also time. Nini says, I'm grateful I found YEAMF and YLIME to my eyes through me and my animation. So without me being involved in this, You Like My Eyes maybe would have never found Hawke, and that would make you so sad. Thanks. Oh, thank you, Nini.
Aww.
I'm really happy that the people who have found the kind of the community have enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
I'm happy that
it's been a great journey.
It really has. It's kind of a bittersweet ending because, it's an ending.
It really is, yeah.
You have to end it at some point, but...
Yeah. When I posted the epilogue, I was like, wow, this is the last chapter I'm going to be posting for this. Mm-hmm. It's very bittersweet.
No. Well, I think we leave it there then.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really great to do this, and maybe if people are interested, maybe at some point we do another stream where we go through the entire story from beginning to end. But maybe. Yeah,
we're both busy peeps.
Yes.
with further projects, if that makes sense, right? Because I think it's important to appreciate the projects that you've done, but then move on to the next ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you've got Your Embers, I've got the Secret Life animatics. We have projects that we are going to move on to from here, and the further away that we have, or the more distance we have from these stories, the less we'll be able to say about them. So yeah, it's also a question.
I've already gotten to the point where sometimes it's hard to remember things that happened because I wrote it so long ago now.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's many points that I, like, immediately after posting the last chapter of Your Light, was so ready to talk about and so aching to talk about that hasn't been mentioned here.
Yeah.
And that's something that we could get into, like, because we've got a lot of story beats written down already. We'd have to do a couple more note taking. But that would be a lengthy process that we'd have to kind of introduce ourselves to the story again. So yeah, again, it's a case of like, if you really want to see it, let us know.
Yeah.
But the more distance we have to the stories, kind of like the more ready we are to move on and to say thank you for the experiences. we'll see what project's next.
Yeah.
Okay, so
right, I think I'm going to wrap up my stream. But yeah.
Should we do that individually, or should we just say bye-bye together?
I think we're just gonna say bye.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Yeah, thank you for the support. But all that is left for us to say is thank you, and it's time for us to send you off into the void that is the internet. You good with that, Hawke? We good to say goodbye?
Yep.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.